Prepare yourself for the ultimate in relaxation with this oh-so-soothing Charlie compilation to sleep and relax to. Grab your comfiest blanket, kick back, and let those gentle sounds lull you into a deep slumber.
A couple days ago, a video went viral on TikTok. It's a creepy guy leaving a disturbing voicemail to a woman where he basically hypes himself up as the perfect man, and the lady was truly lucky that he graced her with his presence. He's the ultimate fucking alpha male, super masculine specimen, and he's taken time out of his busy day to send her a voicemail. And of course, this shit gets weird fast. He leaves multiple voicemails, and they get more and more aggressive and sinister. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, but there is an interesting story here, full of a lot of twists and turns. It's like fucking Fight Club, but for a shitty pickup artist.
Yeah, hi there, Olga. It's Dimitri. Sorry I had to leave such a rushed message with you when we met the other day. I just want to quickly give you my phone number, and I had to get the heck out of the area.
Meet Dimitri the lover. He's the reason your panties are sodden right now. Be honest, if you received this voicemail, would you be able to resist him? Nobody can. No one has that kind of willpower. You would have to fuck him on the spot. So suave. And he's truly an expert of his craft. He makes himself sound so dark and mysterious. I had to give you my number and then get out of there. I had to get the heck out of there ASAP. I had to get out of town, scram and skedaddle. Why? What was so urgent that you needed to flee? What was the rush? Were you being chased by Batman? I mean, he sounds exactly like the Joker in the Dark Knight trilogy, so maybe.
In any event, I figure I better leave you a more detailed message and explain why I approached you. I am single. I have no trouble meeting women. I mean, women approach me 6-7 times a day. But I'm very particular about what I like. You're extremely elegant.
If a guy tells you he has no problem meeting women, then he has no problem meeting women. That guy is slaying pussy left and right. Dude probably has a threesome waiting for him at home, and you are lucky that he stepped away from that in order to talk to you. Spoken like a real alpha male here. No doubt this man's getting approached 6 to 7 times a day. No doubt in my fucking mind. That's probably on the low end. That's probably like during the off season. But I bet when spring break rolls around, maybe even St. Patrick's Day, he's getting upwards of 20 offers for sex.
I couldn't take my eyes off of you, and your friends were very jealous. Even if they say they weren't, they were envious of the fact that I approached you, and I was very taken by you. Elegant women are very rare. I'm Greek, and I'm very particular about what I like. So I'm giving you an opportunity here.
Sounds like he's about to pitch an NFT scam to her. It's like he's trying to sell her on some kind of multi-level marketing scheme. This dude talks like an anime villain who's explaining his plan to the protagonist. He's just so fucking weird. It sounds like Die Hard 3 every time Bruce Willis would pick up the payphone to talk to the terrorist. It's just so, like, unnerving listening to this guy talk. And then, of course, he goes into, your friends were jealous. Did you know that? I saw it in their eyes. They were so fucking envious of you when I approached you. They might say they weren't jealous, but that's just them lying. That's how you know they were actually really jealous. And you know what? You watching right now, if you want to make your friends jealous, get on the wait list for the new G Fuel flavor. Finally have a custom flavor, Divine Peach. It's peach plus kiwi plus dragon fruit. For billions of years, the universe has been building and evolving. And now we finally reached the apotheosis of creation. Divine Peach, a new flavor from G Fuel. An exquisite concoction sent straight from heaven, made by the angels. Join the waitlist at gfuel.com. The link to join is in the description below.
I don't know if you pick up the messages on the weekend, but I'm working on a movie script, so I'm pretty much around all weekend doing that. I left you my number, 416-9184. This looks like a landline, and if it is, you may not get the message till Monday. But when you do, call me, and then we'll get together for coffee and chat and let the romance begin.
What a great way to kick off a relationship. Let the romance begin. That's such a bold statement. It immediately lets the person know, I am here with romantic intent, and it's time to commence. Let the pussy flow, please. Where's your vagina? This is where the romance starts. Come on. Didn't you hear? I said let the romance begin. I think it's extremely effective. He's reinventing the relationship meta here. No guesswork anymore. Once they say let the romance begin, well then that shit better start. It's so fucking good. It's like a terribly written line in an old video game, like some Resident Evil 2 shit. I would also love to read that movie script he said he was working on. I bet it was an actual masterpiece up there with The Room and Citizens Kane. But unfortunately, I think we all know he wasn't actually working on a movie script. He just said that to seem interesting and cool and unique. He was most likely just sitting in a dark room in his shit-stained underwear after hyping himself up in his bathroom mirror for over an hour, working up the courage to finally call the woman who made a grave mistake of giving her phone number to this psychopath.
You look very taken aback by my approach, and I hope that isn't timidness. I hope it was just a little bit of shock at being approached so directly, because I don't really date timid women, because I'm a very direct, very passionate, very assertive man, and I want a woman who's very independent and strong. So anyway, we'll talk about that, but I just wanted to formally introduce myself. Now I have. I leave the ball in your court. You call me as soon as you have the courage to. Okay, Olga? Talk to you soon. Bye.
This is a man who can date any woman in the world, and he's chosen her. How can you be so lucky? Some people win the lottery, some people win Dimitri, and you could argue that they're both about equal in terms of how lucky the person was. So, let me go ahead and reveal the big twist here. This is all genuine, this is real, it's not fake, it's not staged. But the twist is, this is not happening currently. This is about 10 years old, I think it's like 9 or 10 years old, and it comes from a pickup artist named James Sears, who also went by Dimitri the Lover when he was in the pickup artist game. He had his own little alias as Dimitri the Lover, and this was one of the voice messages he left to someone named Olga. That is not the lady in the TikTok here, and she's not trying to, like, deceive people or hide it. She, in another TikTok video after this, clarifies, like, hey, look, I'm not Olga. This is actually just an old sound clip from Dimitri the Lover, who actually sent this to someone named Olga. Now, James Sears, Dimitri the Lover, is in jail now. The most shocking thing I'm sure you've heard all day. I'm as surprised as you are. He was arrested for a bunch of hate speech related things and then rearrested after breaching parole. Now, I'm sure you all have a picture of what this guy looks like in your head right now, and I'm about to show you what he actually looks like, and I bet a huge amount of you are very close to what he looks like in the real world. He looks exactly like what you expect. Almost exactly like what I have pictured when I first heard this. So here he is. It's fucking wild, huh? He looks exactly like the caricature of a bad, goofy, creepy pickup artist would look.
Hi there, Olga. It's Dimitri calling again, the guy from the street. I left you a message several days ago. You said you were interested. Now, here's the way I work. I don't like leaving second messages, but I like you. You're a very elegant woman. You're very attractive. But, you know, I don't play that game. I know your friends tell you not to return calls. You're playing games like you see on stupid TV shows. So here's how it's going to work.
You just made Dimitri leave a second voicemail. God help you. Your soul is in jeopardy now. Dimitri doesn't like to leave 2 voicemails. In fact, the last time Dimitri left 2 voicemails, he cried. You gonna make him cry again? Dimitri doesn't like to cry. You can hear him starting to get angry. He starts saying, this is how it's gonna go. So we're getting to experience in real time the transformation of a nice guy into a bad boy.
It is now 4:30 on Wednesday. Now I'll assume that you've already left work, because, you know, some people leave early, and I'll grant you that. But if I do not receive a phone call back from you by 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon, I'm no longer interested, and you can erase my number. I don't play games like that. I'm completely single. I'm very intelligent.
Hey, listen, Dimitri, you don't have to tell us that you're intelligent. We all get that impression here. Just listening to you, I think we can all recognize that your IQ is at least 5 figures. Like, that shit is huge. That is a galaxy brain you're working with.
I'm great in bed. I make great money. Believe it or not, I'm a complete catch. I've only been single 4 months. I had a long-distance relationship. You know, it went a year. It's very tough to maintain it like that, and it didn't work out. There's nothing wrong.
Undoubtedly, he is the complete package. This truly is a huge catch here for Olga. I can't believe the long distance relationship didn't work out. I bet this guy was doing everything he could to make it work. But it is difficult to keep that going when the long distance relationship is Dimensions with that 2D waifu kind of shit. But, you know, I'm sure he had a good time and it was mutual. And now Olga had a chance, but she blew it. You know, she didn't call back in a timely fashion, and Dimitri had to leave 2 voicemails, and from there the whole ass was blown off of this operation here, and there was no salvaging the relationship. They could have been a great couple. They could have been married by now. And this is where the TikTok video ends, but the legend of Dimitri the Lover doesn't stop there. There's actually still quite a bit from Dimitri the Lover, but I won't get into it today because there's a lot. He was kind of popular on the internet as a punching bag. I was vaguely familiar of him like 10 years ago or something. I knew the name at least a little bit. So there is more, but we won't go over it today. Maybe at some point we'll go through more of his voicemails and shit that he used to do. But for now, that's about it. See ya. For almost a decade now, I've said multiple times how the worst content on YouTube comes from YouTube pranksters. There is nothing more deplorable, heinous, or dog shit than a YouTuber doing pranks. Watching a prank video is more painful than walking in on your significant other cheating on you. There's only 2 unforgivable sins in the Lord's eyes, and one of them is watching pranksters, and the second one is not liking anime. It's just so fucking gross. The shit is so bad. It like really fucking terrible, and the douchebags behind the prank channels are some of the most insufferable assholes the internet has to offer. The man who goatseed himself is probably a more likable content creator than the entirety of the YouTube pranksters combined. His asshole has more personality than all of the androids behind these garbage prank videos. It's truly abhorrent stuff. And you know what I'm talking about, the walking around in public and pissing on people's shoes and then saying, it's just a prank, bro, so they can't get mad at me. And if they get mad, they're the bad guy. I'm the victim here. I told him it was a prank. I don't know why he's upset. I just spit in his face. That kind of douchebag. Or swapping grandma's medicine out with ketamine, gone sexual. The worst people on the internet are the ones that are pulling pranks. Now, of course, they're all fake, but not every child knows that. And today, I'm going to tell you the story about a kid named Timothy Welks. Timothy Welks was a 20-year-old kid in Tennessee who grew up watching YouTube pranksters and aspired to be one himself. But he was never in on the joke. He never believed Santa Claus was fake. He thought the pranks he was seeing was real. And he had a plan to become a YouTube sensation prankster. His plan was to charge a family with butcher knives wearing a mask, and when he pulled this prank off 2 days ago, he was fatally shot and killed. What's especially wild about this story is this kind of prank, the robbery prank, isn't some unknown, taboo, uncharted territory kind of thing. He wasn't like Christopher Columbus discovering a new type of prank. This man was doing a very common prank. The robbery prank is one of the most common ones these insufferable assholes on YouTube will do, where they stage a robbery as a prank. They'll charge people with weapons like a fucking chainsaw or sometimes unloaded weapons or blades and shit while they're dressed as like Scary Steve from Minecraft and be like, give me your wallet and all your condoms, shit like this, and like shake them down for it. And then they'll be like, oh, it's just a prank, bro, you're not actually getting robbed. And like, oh, you jokesters, oh, you rapscallions, and that's the whole video. It's absolutely fucking terrible, but the people they prank are obviously in on it. It's all staged. Timothy Wilkes and other people like him don't know that. So Timothy chose someone that wasn't in on it, and he charged them with butcher knives as he was dressed up like he was from fucking Comic-Con, and he was shot and killed. And I don't know if this is real, but there is a source that was released by one of the publications that said it was the audio from the incident. And since this was filmed for a prank, there is clearly film of it that exists. But that hasn't been released. But I did hear audio. And his last words after the gunshots were, "It's just a prank, bro," as he was dying and crying. I don't know if that's real, but there is no doubt in my mind when this did happen, he absolutely shouted, "It's just a prank, bro." And those were most likely some of his last words. That is some of the saddest shit. You couldn't write a more poetically pitiful conclusion to have been misled by these awful people on the internet to such a degree that you end up giving your life for the sake of a fucking prank. What an awful, awful, awful way to go out. The person I feel the most bad for is, of course, the man that shot him. He was a guy that was just acting in self-defense. He saw two people, Timothy Wilkes and his friend, both dressed up in masks, charging him with butcher knives, and he armed himself and shot. The dude's not like James Bond or Rambo. He wasn't going around hunting bad guys. He was getting charged by two people he didn't know with knives, so he armed himself and defended himself. And luckily he hasn't been charged with anything because he shouldn't be. It was clearly self-defense. Timothy Wilkes and his group were 100% in the wrong here, and it takes a real fucking psychopath to pull a prank like this. It takes someone extremely delusional to think that this is somehow an okay prank or anything like that. These fucking pranks are so stupid. The punchline is literally, ha ha ha, you thought you were about to die. Now, of course, in all the other ones, it's all fake and the people are clearly in on it. But in a case like this, Timothy Wilkes literally thought this was going to be a good prank. Like, he'd go up to these people, make them fear for their lives, and then at the end they'd all be laughing, slapping ass, and then grabbing themselves a little beer or something. I just don't understand how someone could be so incredibly delusional. It's baffling. It's absolutely shocking and disturbing that someone could actually think that charging strangers with a butcher knife and then saying it's just a prank would make everything okay. It's fucking wild. But yeah, I wanted to just talk about this story a little bit because for years now I've mentioned how these insufferable asshole YouTubers that command their audience of 11-year-olds literally brainwash them into thinking horrible things are okay or normal, and that a lot of these kids don't recognize that the shit they do is fake, and that's bad and dangerous. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Timothy Wilkes isn't the only kid that believes the pranks he sees on YouTube are real. I'm sure there's others, but none of the other ones are crazy enough to charge people with knives and wearing masks like it's the fucking purge. So it's just one of those freak things that was always going to happen when you have absolute fucking degenerates making dog shit pranks where they're like kidnapping their friends and putting them through Saw games and then saying it's just a prank at the end and then everyone's all smiles. Fucking ripping their dick off and then just saying it's a prank and they're like, oh shit, you got me, yeah, my penis is gone, should have seen it coming, that was a fucking epic prank, friend. It's crazy. Fucking crazy. Horrible situation here, and I feel horrible for the guy that ended up killing Timothy in self-defense. That's gotta be a traumatic experience for him, and well, it's just a situation that should have never happened in the first place. Terrible. That's it. See ya. This is a video I've been debating making for the last 24 hours. I think this situation is extremely important to talk about, but it's also really complicated. This shit is more confusing than the plot to the movie Tenet. So let's just get into it. Let's spread apart these ass cheeks and get into the stinky meat here. I want to quickly hit you with the cliff notes on why you should care about this situation and why it's a big deal. There's an absolutely awful comedian named Brendan Schaub who is currently suing a small YouTuber over jokes they made about him. Also worth noting that YouTuber lost both of their channels, perhaps because of Schaub, though that's still alleged. If it's true though, then Brendan just gave him the quarter pounder with cheese. Got the double whammy in there. And why this is a big deal is because Brendan Schaub is going after him because of the jokes he made, but also because he showed clips of his podcast in order to make some of the jokes and criticize him, and is claiming it's not fair use and it's a violation. And obviously fair use is very important on YouTube and the internet in general. So should this actually go to court and should this clown somehow win, it sets a really bad legal precedent. Now let me get a bit more into the lore of this awful comedian. So there's a terrible comedian named Brendan Schaub who was a former MMA fighter, and he rose to fame not really from MMA, though he was very successful there. He came into the public eye thanks to his frequent appearances on the Joe Rogan podcast. I think he's the #1 reoccurring guest on Rogan. He's been there like 80 fucking times. So he basically got his career by suckling off of Joe Rogan's hot dog sized nipples, and from that used it as a platform to make his own podcast. The dude's got like fucking 10 podcasts, so he has like a lot of productions, and it's something called Thick Boy Media, and he also tries to do comedy, unsuccessfully. The most entertaining thing about Brendan Schaub is when people are making fun of him, because he is the joke. The only comedy he provides to the world is in the form of a punching bag for people to laugh at and joke about. He himself steals jokes, allegedly, and I tried to watch one of his stand-up specials. It was fucking miserable. Watching Brendan Schaub desperately try to fish for the punchline to the joke he's attempting to tell is like watching a dog try and cross the street with oncoming traffic on its way. It's just painful and you just want to look the other way. It's miserable. And half of the stories he tells are blatantly just lies. You can tell he is making it up on the spot in order to one-up someone. I was watching him interact on another or actually it might have been his podcast, I don't remember now, but he was talking with Chris D'Elia and they were talking about being out of gas. And Brendan Schaub just comes out of nowhere, raises his hand, "Oh, wait, actually, I was out of gas like you guys, but in a much cooler way. You see, I'd actually just won a fight, and after winning a fight and having 15 threesomes, I was in my Hummer H2, he makes sure to specify, brand new Hummer H2, and I was running low on gas, and I was like, I can ride this bitch out, but I couldn't. I ran out of gas. So then I had to, with my Hercules-like strength, push this Hummer myself all the way to the nearest gas station. And then the gas station guy said, didn't I just see you on TV? They need to pay you more. That was his story. Of course, I embellished it a little bit, but the story was, I just won a fight, my brand new Hummer was running out of gas, and then I had to solo push it to a gas station where the gas station guy recognized me and said they need to pay me more. That obviously didn't happen. There's no reality where that ever fucking happened. I wasn't there. I wasn't tapped into the NSA security cameras nearby or anything, but I can say with a high level of confidence he made that shit up in order to just one-up everyone around him for no reason. There's no moral to the story. There's no good jokes in the story or anything entertaining about it. It's just him being a fucking douchebag. If you were solo pushing a Hummer, who was steering it? How did you push this Hummer and steer it all the way to the gas station? How far away were you? There's just no chance. And then just so happens the guy working the gas station watched you on TV moments before and then mentioned you don't get paid enough. And then what? Everyone clapped? And then you became prom king? He blows my mind. He is quite literally that frat douchebag everyone knew in college that would tell the worst jokes of all time, but no one bothered to stop them because no one cared. No one laughed. No one gave them any attention, but they convinced themselves that they were super entertaining in their own mind. That is him. That is Brendan Schaub. That is the comedic stylings of this absolute troglodyte. But anyway, so he is currently suing a small YouTuber over jokes that they were making about him. He's very sensitive. Brendan Schaub may look like a big tough guy, but he's actually a really soft, insecure man, if you can believe that. So the jokes hurt his feelings, and he used another company to take down the videos that were criticizing him, joking about him, and then went the extra step to sue him. Now, I can't show you the video where the YouTuber was going through the lawsuit because he just fucking showed the full legal document, because I can't show it because that's taken down, and also probably wasn't a good idea to just show the actual legal document. I'm sure there's something in place to say you can't do that, but he was very transparent with Brendan Schaub's legal document that was sent to him. It is a full-blown suing case from what I can tell. I'm no expert. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't pass the fucking bar or anything, but it does seem like he is going all out to fuck this man in the ass. I imagine this was supposed to be some kind of scare tactic to frighten this individual and make them stop posting mean things about Brendan, but the YouTuber said that they are going to fight it, they are going to go to court, and I think that's great because they need to beat this case. They need to continue to set this precedent across the platform that you cannot abuse this system like this. This is not okay. This is very clearly an exploitation of the system. This is just a slam dunk victory for the YouTuber being sued because Brendan Schaub has no case. If Brendan Schaub somehow won this, then it actually hurts Brendan Schaub too, because from what I understand, he also reacts to videos and uses clips from other things in order to joke and criticize. So if he wins this case, he fucks himself too. It's like mutually assured destruction from an absolute goddamn supervillain idiot. It makes no sense, and I don't think anyone around Brendan Schaub is smart enough to tell him how stupid he is. And I wish I could show you some clips of Brendan Schaub and all of this going on, but I'm not going to take any chances with how fast and loose he's being with the legal system here, so I'm not going to show anything from any of his podcasts or anything he said. But what makes this situation really complicated is the fact that there's no real hero in this story. The YouTuber that's being sued is someone that I wouldn't really root for under normal circumstances. I don't want to mention their name, and I don't want anyone to harass Brendan Schaub or this YouTuber. I'm not going to mention their name, but I've seen a lot of archived live streams from their channels where a lot of very disturbing shit was happening. This individual sometimes would get drunk on stream and have incoherent ramblings and say some really fucked up and tasteless shit sometimes. And in one case in particular, I saw a clip of them leaving the stream and then arguing with their girlfriend, and it did sound like some type of domestic violence was occurring in the background. This is all alleged, and this is only based off of live streams that have been archived, but over the course of like the last 2 or 3 years that I was able to like look at this person, I saw a lot of people talking about frequent domestic violence on stream. I saw a lot of clips of him and his significant other constantly arguing, yelling, shouting, screaming, and just a lot of really disturbing things.
Playful retard. Has no idea what's really happening. Oh, she annoys me.
Kyle, it's her birthday, man.
What is it? Yeah, stupid. You didn't get banned. You just were irrelevant. And I gotta handle the kids because you couldn't, stupid.
Ban him forever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're a fucking retard, fuck. We're going to the fucking kids. This fucking
What am I doing with you?
Abusive.
Like I said, his channels are down, so I can't look at his content myself and see him. I can only experience this through the re-uploads from his community and the community members talking about the streams and talking about these clips. But from what I've seen, it is some pretty fucked up things. I've seen a couple of interviews with him as well as people talking about him, and there's just a lot that is not great. Especially that clip where it does sound like he is hitting something or someone. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that's just a complete wrong interpretation of what's happening. But I just wanted to say, from everything I did see on this individual with like the arguing, which happened on stream often, and the drunk streams where really not great things were talked about, it's not someone that I would be like super enthusiastic to support, but I do hope they beat the case against Brendan Schaub, because Brendan Schaub is basically salting the fucking earth here. As these cases build up, if any of them win with these absolute bogus bullshit claims in court, if any of those win, it sets that legal precedent going forward, which means other equally stupid idiots like Brendan Schaub can abuse the system the same way. So I still hope that they beat Brendan Schaub, but I recognize that they might not be a good person themselves. But yeah, I do think this is an important case, because this is only one of a handful of cases where a YouTuber goes after another YouTuber on absolute bullshit claims. And hopefully, just like the previous cases with like Ethan Klein versus whatever the dude's name was, I'm already forgetting his name, hopefully this case will also result in that shit being shut down as well. Like I said, I think this was probably just supposed to be a scare tactic that didn't work and might find its way to court, though I still do think that's unlikely. I'm hoping the case just gets dropped and doesn't go that far, but if it does, hopefully it gets an absolutely biblical smackdown in court, just gets fucking slapped off and don't have to worry about it again. But yeah, I just wanted to cover the situation because I do think it's an important one to talk about, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah. I've stumbled across the creepiest dating coach the cyberspace has ever seen. He's like a Galactus-level threat to getting laid. Like, if you ever wanted to ensure every woman is frightened of you, follow his advice. But also, if you want to follow his advice, make sure you got your piggy bank ready to turn over, because you got to pay for his course on it. This is his slogan: alpha dominance in dating, rise above the rest. And then if you scroll down on his homepage, it says, navigate the fog when it comes to women, it's time to level up. Now, I'm going to show you all the videos he's been posting to try and drive sales to his Picking Up Women course, the steaming ham tutorial step-by-step guide. And he's pretty much exactly what you're picturing right now after reading It's Time to Level Up. He legitimately looks and speaks like a Redditor who's just reading off of old Ask Reddit pages from 12 years ago.
You do not have to accept her rejection.
You couldn't script a worse start to this lesson. You don't have to accept her rejection. Brother, that's like the #1 thing you should accept, not just with women, but with people in general. Nobody likes the pushy douchebag that refuses to take no for an answer. The guy's out here cosplaying as a car salesman, treating romance like it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. No, I will not allow this to happen because I have this trap card. The conversation will continue whether you like it or not.
I'm a professional dating coach, and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Now, if you're one of the people that haven't applied anything in my course or my videos or anything like that, this video is not for you. This is an advanced technique.
This ain't your grandma's flirting no more. This ain't Weenie Hut Juniors. This is forbidden jutsu. While you were out partying, he was inside, studying the techniques, and he's bestowing upon us his sage wisdom with the advanced stuff. This is a man who has mastered the female mind, and he's sharing all of its secrets with us and telling us all the techniques to make it bend to our will.
You don't have to accept her rejection. Now, here's an example. I was talking to a girl, and she said, I'm not really interested. And I, instead of just going, okay, and then just turning away, I did this. Why would you not be interested in me? I'm the best.
It's genius! The chosen one! Lisan Al-Gaib! How could we have not thought of that technique? Whoa! Instead of just accepting when a girl isn't into you, you say, wait, but you should be. No, you! He's done it! He's cracked the code! His midichlorian count is beyond our comprehension. Behold, the patron saint of pussy has come! Yes! So instead of accepting a rejection, you keep pestering her about you being the best. If that's not the most cringe shit in the world, I don't know what is.
Absolutely the best. And she's like, oh, how? I'm like, well, you'd have to come over in my house to find out. And you'd also have to be okay with kink, and you'd also have to be okay with my mastery of the ropes and the fact I have multiple women. And actually, maybe not. Maybe you wouldn't be the best for me.
Yeah, fucking right, dweeb. She'd see through that lie so quickly. The only thing you're best at is top lane one-trick Teemo in your fucking anime club Discord group. No shot that would ever work in a real situation. If you said that to a living, breathing human being in the real world, she would be so immediately creeped out by you, she'd be running away, fucking screaming for help. Going up to a stranger who has just rejected you and then saying you're the best and the only way she'll find out how is if she comes over and has to be into kink and all of that. What fantasy are you living in? You're so fucking porn-brained if you think that would ever work on just a total stranger. It makes you sound like a serial killer, like she'd go over and it'd be a scene out of Dexter's early seasons, fucking plastic put up everywhere as you're about to dismember her. She'd have to be okay with your mastering of the ropes and your multiple women. A, saying multiple women in this context makes it sound like multiple victims more than anything, and B, I don't know who put this into the heads of some, like, really desperate men, but most women don't like to hear that you're fucking a ton of other women, too. Like, that's not really a turn-on or anything. I know that a lot of delusional dudes think it makes them seem more desirable to women, like, oh, it's okay if you tell me no, I have, like, 16 other women that will tell me yes. Your loss, I suppose. But it's not really, like, a flex or anything. It seems super weird. It is super weird.
She started going back and forth with me, and I started building attraction in that because now I had sidestepped her fucking rejection. Granted, keep in mind, I didn't force it. I didn't say, no, you're gonna... I just played into her little fucking game. I knew she was playing with me a little bit, or just kind of disengaging, and I gave her a little bit of fun. You want to know what I did with her later?
Of all of the things in the world that have never happened, that has never happened the most. That is the most didn't happen shit of all time. What a bunch of baloney. Actual horseradish on this story. Just a blatant lie trying to get dudes to buy into this fantasy that he's selling, to try and go to his website and give him money for the worst advice you'll ever hear. So, if you do go to his website and check out, like, why you should buy it, there's a nugget of wisdom in there that I can't help but share. But according to him and nobody else, he basically can't leave the house without having thousands of sodden panties tossed at him from women that are vying for his cock. So if you go to why you should purchase the course and what you get, he says, proven results, with over 100,000 Tinder matches in 2 years, which is an outrageous number. He's fucking entire cities worth of women. Like, your girlfriend has probably been with this guy. In fact, ask your mom right now if she cheated on your father with this guy. I bet if you walked up to any woman on the street right now and said his name, they'd have a Winter Soldier moment going through it. Now, I'm not saying his name because I'm not trying to have people, like, harass him, but I'm fighting a really strong urge to not mention his name because it's so fucking silly. His name is Alpha plus his name. It's actually kind of adorable. He calls himself the Alpha. But anyway, as well as a little over 1,000 women in his dating lifestyle and multiple women currently with him. So he's not in a monogamous relationship. A guy like this with 100,000 Tinder matches, he has entire harems with him at all times, slobbering on his cock. His cock is never in his pants. It's always in someone else's mouth or pussy. The methods are time-tested and proven not just by him, but also by his clients across multiple types of men. These methods just work. Don't settle for mediocrity in your dating life. Embrace the alpha mindset and unleash your true potential to attract the partners you desire. Cracking the alpha dating mind will equip you with skills, mindset, and charisma to become a dominant force in the dating world. Gain the confidence, magnetism, and success you deserve in every romantic pursuit. Invest in yourself. Unleash your alpha potential today. I mean, my credit card's already flying out of my wallet right now. I need to unlock my alpha potential.
Ask a girl, can I get your number? She said, no, I just got out of a relationship and I don't know if I'm ready to date or whatever. And I handed her my phone and said, go ahead, type it in. It'll be fine.
Another story more fake than the Tooth Fairy here, but the way that he tells this story is haunting. I'm getting chills listening to it, like I feel threatened.
We can get Chardonnay, we can talk like girlfriends and talk about your old relationship with this guy. We're not going to do that, but it's going to be okay. Another example. Once again, not forcing it, not being super aggressive. She can say no again, which at that point I would have disengaged. But guess what she didn't do? Didn't say no. And that was the first time it happened. And then I did it again and again and again and again and again. And most of them ended up coming over my house, ended up sleeping with me. You just gotta know how to do it correctly.
I can see how he had 100,000 Tinder matches and has multiple women that he's with at all times. He is a smooth operator here. I admit I was skeptical at first, but after hearing this expertise, it's clear. There's not going to be any vagina left in the world for the rest of us men, now that he's out there on the prowl. Lord help us all.
Here's something I need you to do. I need you to enter the female mind for a second.
Oh, okay, yes sir. Oh man, he's delivering an order. Alright, I'll try and jack into the female mind real quick. Oh god, it's so scary in here! Alpha, pull me out, I don't know what I'm doing, I need your guidance! I'm
a professional dating coach and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Now, this will help you get more numbers because you gotta fucking understand how their mind works and what they go through every day. Imagine if every fucking day of your life you were approached for about 45 times, which is the number that I've come up with my extensive study.
Very scientific gathering methods, I'm sure. Yes, I've approximately calculated that every single woman is approached roughly 45.3, repeating of course, times per day. Now, since you're in the female mind, since I've instructed you to do so, you'll recognize the mental burden that this takes on the female mind, of which I, your dating coach Alpha, have mastered.
Things like, why don't you give me yours, is a fucking thing that's going to weed out 95% of the spineless males that aren't persistent, that aren't fucking clever, that aren't witty, that can't have fun with her.
Yeah, those beta cucks. Not like Alpha here, who's so clever and witty he came up with the absolutely nefarious, diabolical, even, genius method of saying, hey, I'm the best. Whoa, man, he's good. To give him more credit, there was more to it. I'm the best. And you can only find out by coming over and being okay with my mastery of the ropes, the blade, and be kinky. Also, give me your number so we can talk about your ex-boyfriend. Really good stuff. Like, actually very good stuff. I see why it's so effective now that I'm in the female mind.
And there's a reason she does it. Without being extremely forceful, sidestep it. Like I just said in the last 2 videos. You're welcome.
Disregard everything the woman wants. You do what you want, and you don't accept rejection. This guy's good. I see it now.
Let's talk about my nails. I'm a professional dating coach, and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Here's the thing. If you think this thing you learned in high school, or that, is the best way to get a girl to... Oh my god, to an O? Jesus Christ.
Not even God could have mercy on your soul if you had that belief. Alpha's about to tear that shit down and blast your ass with real knowledge on how to get a girl to an O. And you can tell he's reliable because he's wearing his sunglasses and his leather jacket with the collar popped. So you know he just finished a threesome with 2 supermodels right before hopping in this car right now. And he's taking time out of his busy day of fucking mashing pissers with the hottest women on the planet to try and teach us barbarians how we can be even an iota of the man that alpha is.
I can drag my fingers down a girl's back and cause one. If you don't know what a TO is, I can't go into, you'll should know them. TO and AO, Skino, especially a Mentalo. If you've never given a girl a Mentalo, gotta tell you, you're a kiddie league. Stepping into the arena with the pros, and you have no idea what you're doing.
You disgusting coward, you're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck. Yeah, you're in the junior leagues. You're not ready for the men's Thunderdome. If you don't know what a TO is, which he refuses to elaborate on and gets really hung up on, so it makes me wonder if he knows what it is. But if you don't know what that is, even if you're not familiar with this nomenclature, you're already fucked. If you've never given a girl a mental O, hoo-wee, you stink, brother. But yeah, so I was trying to like analyze these terms because I've never heard them before. So putting together context clues, I think a TO is a titty orgasm. I think an AO is an anal orgasm. Fucking, I've never heard these before. TO, AO, Cheerio, which is a breakfast cereal. Like, who uses those terms?
Guy, sorry. Little tip. Put a glove on with a long nail and rake. Not hard. You're welcome.
Now, this is going to come as a shock to all of you watching this, and you're probably not going to believe me, but it's the truth. Somehow, people on TikTok were making fun of this guy, so he responded to the haters.
So, I'm going to try to gain composure in this one. I've filmed this video way too many fucking times.
No, you didn't. That's an absolute lie. You're trying to put on a strong face because you're the alpha, but it's pretty clear the comments and what people are saying got to you, got under your skin, and you're making this as a strong response to it where you're laughing in their face. But the laugh is so unbelievably forced and fake, it's very clear. This shit looks like some kind of high school drama club audition laugh.
But I kind of want to show you guys. I kind of want to show you the elite level of hate that I'm dealing with. Oh, dude, look. I am literally. That's fucking real fucking cry laughing. All right.
He just has a full-blown Joker meltdown. This app deserves a new class of dating coach, and I'm gonna give it to him. Yeah, that's kind of just the whole video response where he's like, I can't believe all this hate. You guys are giving me fame. You playing right into the palm of my hands type shit. But anyway, you get the idea. Just another dog shit dating coach scam looking to capitalize off of people's insecurity and desperation to try and find a partner. Just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. So yeah. I remember a decade or so ago, there was this trend where some creepy degenerate losers would go around in public and try and sneakily take pictures of women's panties by sliding their phone under their dress when they weren't paying attention. They treated it like they were Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell on a stealth mission trying to grab these photographs. And they'd take these pictures and they were called upskirts. If I remember correctly, there was even a Reddit community for that where they would proudly post this, which, by the way, is illegal. They were posting evidence of a crime they had committed on the subreddit. I'm pretty sure it got fully shut down, but right now there is like a Reddit upskirts community, but I think that's something totally different, like a phoenix that rose from those ashes, because it looks like those are upskirts that the people are taking of themselves for that community. But I do remember that there was a huge controversy about that a long time ago, and then pretty much overnight, it disappeared. Just like Godzilla after a big rampage, it just vanished. I'd never heard about upskirts again. I never read any headlines about anyone doing upskirts, getting like arrested or anything like that, until 2 days ago, with a Target creep who got caught on video taking an upskirt of another shopper. And it's become a pretty big story now. So when I first saw this, I thought it was fake. I thought it was like one of those rage bait things that TikTok does really often. Because it really looks, it's so over the top, like I really thought it was staged to be like a lesson, like don't be a peeping Tom, don't be like this guy. But it turns out this is all super real. So he's now facing felony charges for this, obviously. I don't know why there's a watermark here though.
Excuse me, what are you doing? No, I just saw you put that underneath her dress. Absolutely you did.
No, ma'am, I really wasn't.
You absolutely did.
Ma'am, I really wasn't.
So, like, he looks pretty much right at her while she's filming, and he puts his phone under her dress. So I really thought it was like, oh, this is a skit. This is fake. But no, this guy is just that much of a brazen pervert. Degenerate. It's actually real. So I'll show you the follow-up in a second, but no, he actually leaves here in handcuffs. He is facing felony charges, and his whole life is ruined. Rightfully so, because who knows how many times he's done this. Upskirts are a crime. Like, you can't be doing that, obviously. He's a fucking degenerate. His legs shaking, that's wild. Oh yeah, we didn't finish the video, yeah. And also, instead of leaving, he stays to try and, like, talk his way out of it. Like, he was trying to find all the right dialogue options in the tree to get the good ending, instead of just running away like most people like him. So he stays the entire time to get arrested.
I really promise I wasn't trying to do anything inappropriate. I wasn't. I really wasn't. I'm not like that.
Obviously you are. I literally have it on video.
But ma'am, I'm not. I really am not. Like, I know it might have seemed that way in, like, the
No,
video.
no, it's just... Okay, listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna wait for them to get here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Like, I was just trying to look
Nope.
at books.
I was just trying to look at books. Okay. That's... what an interesting alternate theory there. He's just browsing some good reads. That's all. In the Pokemon cards section, where all the best books are. This bro no porn exists. There's so many people like this though. It's for them, I think. It's like the thrill of doing something like this. Like, I imagine this probably isn't the only time he's done it. And apparently he had been following the lady filming around the entire time, which is why she's filming here, because she got a very creepy vibe from this guy. And then I guess at some point she de-aggroed him, so then he went to this girl, started following her, and then did this.
No, I have video of him sticking his phone underneath this lady's dress as she had bent over, videotaping her. And he followed me all around the store.
Okay. So...
We need to get police.
Okay, if you can go ahead and call them also.
Oh, they don't have the next one. But he gets taken away in handcuffs. But he gets taken away from the target with the police. Turns out he was like a very active member of the church, like the local church they were at. This and that. He tried to talk his way out of it. It has not worked, and now he's facing some super serious charges. But this was something that I found interesting. He keeps denying that he wasn't doing anything wrong, and he apparently showed the police his phone, like the recent pictures, and he didn't have any recent pictures, but I don't know if that also means videos, or if he also had time to delete them. Last I heard, they subpoenaed to get, like, his deleted information for forensic examination. And they also said this too. Police say they have yet to discover anything inappropriate involving children. Yeah, he's a volunteer at the elementary school. Arrested and cuffed at a fucking library. Show some respect, brother. He's a target. Why was the lady taking a video in the grocery store? Perfect time to catch him. Damn it, it's a Target. It's not just a grocery store, and it's not just a library. Show some respect. But as she said, she was filming him because he was initially following her around in the children's section. She got a creepy vibe, so she started filming him and following him around and then caught that. This. Imagine the unexpected turn of events. He didn't film anything. The charges against that poor lady would be crazy. Even if in the most unlikely of circumstances he didn't film anything, him putting the phone under this lady's dress still shows the intent. Like, even if he didn't hit record, like he missed it, he still showed the intent. And even if you can't arrest him for that, he's still going to be ostracized from, like, his church community and, like, his friends for that. That's creepy shit no matter what. I don't think he was recording. I think they hear the click of a photo being taken. Nope. Actually, I don't know if this is true. Chat can tell me if this is true or not. When I was reading through the story after I found out it was real, I learned that this was a pretty popular thing overseas. So I think in Japan, I think is where it was, they instituted this mandate that if you're taking a picture or a video, it has to have a sound. So you can't do this discreetly anymore because it makes a sound. And I thought that was the craziest shit. That's real? That is true? That's wild. It was that big of a problem, huh? US supermarkets have the same energy as random encounters in GTA. My dad died taking an upskirt photo. Alright. Interesting meme. So he's actually facing some additional charges as well for secret peeping. They issued a warrant after identifying 3 separate victims at the store on Monday morning, so he's facing 5 counts of secret peeping in total. Dude was really creeping and peeping on a Monday morning here. Allegedly 3 separate victims? Goodness gracious, Jesus Christ. He was just sliding his phone under everyone with a pulse at this store, I guess. But anyway, he's been caught red-handed here. He would have got away with it if it wasn't for those meddling iPhones that can also record him as well. Like, the crazy thing about a phone is it can be used for more than just filming panties. It can film you filming panties. So I guess we'll see what happens here. I highly doubt there's any alternate explanation for what he was doing in this video. I can't think of a single possible other reason for why he did what he did there aside from upskirts. That's the only logical thing. I can't even think of some kind of ridiculous theory. Never mind, scratch that. I did come up with a ridiculous theory. What if he wasn't grabbing upskirts there and instead saw a very venomous spider on the ground? He saw a black widow and he got down there calmly as to not scare the shopper or scare the spider away and then smashed it with his phone. Who knows? Maybe that's the story. Maybe that's what he did. He squished a bug and saved the day. Obviously, I'm fucking kidding with that. The only thing that can explain his behavior here is that he is a sexual degenerate that was grabbing upskirts. So I guess we'll see what charges stick here or what comes from this story. That's really about it. I just wanted to share it. That's it. See ya. This week, a creator on TikTok began selling their own special homemade dipping sauce, and it got extremely popular, not only on TikTok, but across the entire internet. It's called pink sauce, and it became a sensation because it's so concerning. Even just its appearance is alarming. It looks like runny Pepto-Bismol. It looks like Majin Buu donated blood and it got turned into dipping sauce. It looks like the paint they use at glow-in-the-dark mini-golf courses. It just doesn't look fit for human consumption. And it turns out it's not exactly safe to eat. So let's get into it because this is a wild rabbit hole. So TikTok creators started making these posts promoting the pink sauce, and then it eventually went up for sale for people to buy. And right away people noticed something was really peculiar with the bottle because it said there were 444 servings per bottle, which is obviously wrong, unless of course it's just the smallest serving sizes of all time. Like 1 tiddlywink of sauce is all you're supposed to consume before you like actually die from it, like cyanide. And not only is like some of this shit on there mislabeled, but some of the ingredients are misspelled. But the thing that really stood out to me is one of the ingredients in the sauce is milk. And this is shipped over state lines, and it's packaged in just these baggies, like these small bags. There's no like ice or anything to freeze it, no dry ice to keep it cool. So you're just getting shipped hot milk. Also, there's no preservatives in it. So it has nothing to keep it stable. There's no way it survives the shipping process intact. It just becomes unedible. There's no shelf life here. The second this thing leaves a refrigerator, it's on a tight clock. You have maybe like 1 good hour with the pink sauce before it just turns to nuclear waste. It's just a disaster. So no doubt by the time you receive your pink sauce, the milk is already spoiled. So you're basically just buying poison. Like fundamentally, this is the Tide Pod challenge all over again, but in a bottle. By the time it reaches you, you've just got yourself like a goddamn container of rat poison. You may as well just go down to your local Walmart and just get a can of Raid Wasp Killer and start chugging that, or dipping your chicken in that. You'd get the same flavor out of it.
Need to talk about pink sauce and why a lot of people are concerned for the people that have bought this sauce from the lady that makes it on TikTok, because the hue of the sauce keeps changing. Every photo, every video, the sauce color looks different, and also she doesn't describe what it actually tastes like. I don't know if it is to promote it, get people to buy it just to see what it tastes like, but she will not describe the taste. She says it's because she cannot describe the taste. I've been hearing it kind of tastes like ranch, not exactly ranch, but basically ranch.
I think it's important important to note that the pink sauce that they're eating in the TikToks is probably safe. Like, that was probably refrigerated and kept at the proper temperature, so that way it didn't just turn into a bottle of rancid sludge. But the pink sauce people are receiving are the bottles that were just shipped through the mail in the hottest summer on record. So I think they're getting a very different sauce here. So they're probably fine in the videos you're seeing. But if you're one of those poor souls that ordered this, I mean, Godspeed to you. You're gonna really be training your immune system, have that shit working overtime. Because this is a recipe for disaster. Like, this shit seems like it would give you botulism and COVID at the same time. Also, fun fact, I decided to look into this a little bit more, and a food safety expert weighed in on it and actually confirmed what I was just joking about, that you can actually get botulism from this product. Imagine paying $20 just to get murdered by some viral sauce you saw on TikTok. This shit is just basically paying $20 for an assassin in a bottle.
Now that people have purchased it and received it, they're noticing that there's a lot of stuff that's really sketchy with the bottle. The nutrition facts seem to be off. It says there's 444 servings. Some of the ingredients are spelled wrong. The website also just seems so poorly put together. Like, what is this? Why does it say this? It's literally like $20 for a bottle, and a lot of people are now worried that this creator is going to be facing a lawsuit.
Yeah, if people keep reporting that they're getting violently ill from the pink sauce, I think there probably is grounds for a lawsuit. But I also think it's entirely their own fault for being stupid enough to buy sauce from a complete stranger on TikTok.
The sauce was also arriving in the mail in these bags. They were not like boxed up with bubble wrap, and we're talking about liquid sauce here. So obviously some people were receiving them literally exploded. It's honestly so sad. I'm really rooting for small businesses, but when it comes to food, you need to be careful with what you're buying and the safety and everything.
I see a lot of people putting the focus on the wrong thing here with the shipping, talking about how it would always spill and all of that. And while it's true, since it was packaged so inefficiently, the spilling should be like the least of your concerns. That's a blessing. If all of your pink sauce spilled into the box, that means you can't consume it, which means you won't die from it. The most important problem is that they shipped it without any like refrigeration to keep it cool. And if the ingredients are accurate, there's no way that that can get as hot as it would during transit to get to you. Like, by the time you get it, it is no longer safe to consume. So, yes, it is true that it was packaged so poorly that all of them spilt. Like, here, I'll show you a couple more videos. Pay attention to, like, the color, too, and also look at how they always, like, arrived spoiled in most of the videos.
Damn, look how fat the bottle is. That's crazy.
I can't even respond to that. I'm just going to let that one fly right on over. I'm going to let that one fly.
Didn't even, like, actually arrive pink. Just ooze. Just revolting slime. Now, the creator of it did respond and posted a video about it, but it's not exactly a good response, and she just chalks a lot of it up to being a small business and new to it. But when you're selling a product like this, you're literally being entrusted with people's lives. You know, like, they're trusting you not to give them foodborne illness, salmonella, botulism, you know, all of that. So it's kind of hard to just be like, oh, it's just a small business, they're learning. So what if a few people have to die for them to get the pink sauce right? You know, it's not exactly, like, super excusable if you ask me.
Time to acknowledge the elephant in the room. So I want to start off by saying, number one, my apologies. I'm only human. I'm not perfect. The grams got mixed up with the serving size. There's 444 grams of pink sauce inside of each container.
So she starts by addressing the 444 servings thing, saying it was just an honest mistake where grams got mixed up with the serving sizes and that it was being fixed, so all the labels going forward would have the proper serving size.
This is a small business, y'all. We are working to try to get the price mark down on the pink sauce. I want to also say I appreciate y'all for supporting me, for spending $20.
She also mentions they're going to work on getting the price down, but again, I don't think there's any price you could pay me to even take a single lick of a spoon that was even anywhere near a pink sauce bottle. This is just an absolutely horrible, horrible venture, and I don't know how people actually bought it. But anyway, let's see how she addresses like the actual safety concerns of consuming it.
Yes, we are following FDA standard. However, we are currently in lab testing. So once we go through lab testing, we will be able to pitch to stores to put the pink sauce in stores, and we're so excited about that.
Good news, they're still in the lab testing, and you all are the guinea pigs. So they'll be able to see what the fatality rate here is on the pink sauce and be able to fine-tune it to be an even deadlier weapon in the future, I guess. They don't address the actual safety concerns of it, obviously, but I would have at least liked some insight on refrigeration instructions, like why does it get to you discolored and fucking hot? It gets to you like molten lava when there's ingredients in there that shouldn't get to that temperature. So yeah, that's where the pink sauce rabbit hole wraps up. I hope no one's gotten extremely sick or have died from it. If they did, it would actually genuinely be their own fault. They'd have no one to blame but themselves. This is an entirely avoidable illness here. You don't have to be exposed to the pink sauce epidemic when it's very clearly not up to FDA protocols. It's not regulated, and it's not been done responsibly. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about it because this was a pretty wild one. That's about it. See ya. Do you remember when toys were pretty simple? Here's some Power Rangers action figures that you collide into each other, or here's a Harry Potter set where you make your own polyjuice potion out of rat poison and anthrax. Enjoy, kids. You remember toys like that? What the fuck happened? Today I found a toy called the Poopsie Slime Surprise Unicorn, and it's not like I'm going around shopping for children's toys or anything. I'm not like raiding Toys R Us dumpsters or anything. I saw this music video for it called the Poopsie Slime Surprise Unicorn music video, whatever, and it turns out the toy is all about feeding a unicorn some like water, glitter, and powder until you shake it up enough and set it on a toilet for it to take a shit. That's all. The entire purpose of the toy is to watch it take a shit and then play with its shit, the little slime in the toilet bowl. It's wild. Like, why is that a toy? Who's making these toys? Aliens? Oh, humans take a shit at least once a day. They'd probably like to play with some of it, right? Let's go ahead and make a toy for that. It makes no sense. Like, that's all you do. You just watch a unicorn take a shit. And it takes like 15 minutes to get the whole procedure going. It's like a real chemical reaction that you have to set up. It's so boring. It's so unfun. It's so weird. It's like trying to promote a scat fetish to kids. I don't understand it at all. It's not like you can even have like a cool boss fight with the unicorn where you have like your Power Rangers like start fighting the unicorn and then it shits itself. You can't, because it has to sit on the toilet to take a shit. So you can't even do anything with that unicorn besides make it take a shit. Let me show you the music video.
Alright, poopsie slime surprise. My poops, my poops, my poops. What you gonna do with all that poop? All that poop? Yeah, woo, woo, woo. I'm a poop, 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 poop. Oh yeah, gonna get loopy off my poopy.
Gonna get loopy off my poopy. That's like the last thing I think about when I take a shit. It's not like I'm hugging my toilet bowl with my face over it, huffing the sacred fumes, looking for some kind of scat high. I don't understand why they're like talking about sniffing shit as if it's some kind of good thing. Admittedly, the animation looks good. I wouldn't be surprised if Dan Schneider commissioned a team of Nickelodeon animators to make this for him. But regardless of how professional the animation looks, the song bangs. Like, I mean, come on, that song's pretty fucking good. What are you gonna do with all that poop, right? You gonna flush it? You gonna waste it? No, it doesn't make any sense. They talk about unicorn shit as if it's their currency in this universe here. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual toy so we can see just how much fun it is to just dive in there balls deep and play with some unicorn shit.
We're going to show you how to feed your unicorn. Make her poop unicorn slime and clean her. We'll demonstrate with Rainbow Bright Star.
If you're following along at home, please make sure you have your Poopsie Slime Surprise Unicorn on standby and ready, because this shit comes full throttle nuts to butts. They are going fast as shit through these directions, and trust me, there's more steps in this making your unicorn take a shit than there is in solving an algebra equation. There's just so many moving parts here, and you're gonna have to keep up. I would recommend getting out a piece of paper and taking some notes, and you may need to hire a full-time professional Poopsie Slime Surprise unicorn shitting tutor.
Before every use, make sure your unicorn's belly button is pushed out. To push out the belly button, press the clip on your unicorn's back, the internal container, to release it. Check that the white clip on the bottom of the internal container is in place, like this. Then, push it back in. Once you hear the click, your unicorn's belly button will pop out.
Now you listen to me, pussy. If I come to your house and you're playing with your Poopsie Slime Surprise unicorn and I see your belly button is not popped out and you're trying to make it take a shit, I'm arresting you. I'm putting you under citizen's arrest. This is the most crucial step when it comes to making this unicorn take a shit. If that belly button is not out, there is no shit coming out of its asshole. None at all. And if you try and force shit out of its asshole, I'm just going to chalk that up as just some kind of abuse, because that is just absolutely inhumane, and you clearly didn't follow the directions here, and you clearly didn't even care to take care of your Poopsie Slime Surprise unicorn.
Unicorn slime.
It's great! But I have to ask, if it's just about making slime, why does the unicorn have to shit it out? Couldn't we just make slime and have a unicorn nearby? Does it have to come out of its colon? You know what I mean? Is that, like, super necessary for the fun?
Unicorn shimmer. Check the back of your unicorn. Turn and push the dial to the feeding position. Use your spoon to feed your unicorn all the unicorn shimmer. Make sure the spoon hits the back of her mouth. This motion will cause the spoon to rotate and pour the shimmer into her belly.
If Toy Story's taught me anything, it's that this poor thing is alive and it has a soul, and you can see it breaking every time it's deep-throating this spoon here. I mean, for God's sake, there's just no mercy here. They're feeding it from a toilet bowl. They dropped fucking protein powder into a dirty toilet bowl and now are feeding it to this unicorn. It's just heartbreaking to see. I guess no price is too high when it comes to making slime. They'd probably burn down an orphanage if it made even just a drop of slime, and they'd probably consider it worth it because, god damn it, it's slime. And we'll do anything for slime.
To measure 5 milliliters of room temperature water. Feed your unicorn the water. Place the bowl back into the toilet. Food. You're going to mix her food, feed her, and make her poop in under 2 minutes.
Holy shit, these maniacs are going for a speedrun world record here. Eating food and then taking a shit in under 2 minutes, it's never been done before. This is absolutely wild. This is groundbreaking. I wish I had a Poopsie Slime Surprise unicorn with me right here so I could follow along at home. But I couldn't find one and definitely didn't feel like ordering one, so I can't. But I'm just going to imagine the amount of fun you'd have waiting for 2 minutes just to watch it slowly take a shit.
Then pour in 1 packet of unicorn food. Use the upper fill line on your measuring cup to measure 25 milliliters of shake up and down for only 30 seconds, and placing the straw into her mouth. Squeeze the bottle slowly.
This demonstration instructional video is about 5 minutes long, and there is more steps in feeding this unicorn than there are in a calculus problem. It would be easier to teach a child how to build an airplane than it would be to teach them how to make this unicorn take a shit. I don't understand why there's so many steps. I mean, I feel like half of them could be eliminated, but again, I'm no preeminent expert when it comes to slime creation, nor slime shitting.
Rocking position until it clicks into place. And now rock and roll and shake your unicorn for 15 seconds. Unicorn's belly button is popped out. Nothing can come out of her. Look, she can even do cartwheels.
Cartwheels? And nothing's falling out of her? Alright, I'm gonna have to order one of these then.
Unicorn's diaper. Move the legs outward and sit her down on her glitter potty. Remember, if you take longer than 2 minutes to feed her, shake your slime and push in her belly button. And watch her really poop unicorn slime.
Yes, finally the moment we've been waiting for. Now, I will say they didn't give like a thorough runaround of the toy, so I don't even know if the toy has an asshole. I don't know where the shit's supposed to come from. It has to have an asshole, right? But since I don't have the toy and they didn't show it here, and they don't actually show the toy shitting, they just go from this scene to the load in the toilet, I just have to wonder, where's it coming from? You know, like maybe they planted the slime there and this thing actually doesn't even have a fucking butthole, and you're gonna buy this thing and you won't even be able to watch it take a shit, you know, one of its core selling points. So it makes me a little skeptical, but we're still in it. Let's see this finale.
Allow the slime to sit in the toilet bowl for about 10 minutes.
You see what I mean? It just has like this editing magic to it where it goes from the unicorn on the toilet to the shit in the toilet. I also don't know why you have to wait 10 minutes. I guess it was a real steaming loaf here, and you just have to give it a little time to cool down. But it looks like a Rick and Morty portal. Like I'm half expecting them to just pop out of that toilet.
Clean out your Poopsie Surprise Unicorn. Pop your unicorn's belly button back out. Close the compartment. Turn the dial on your unicorn. Sit her back on her toilet. Fill her bottle with water.
Basically, it's take the whole fucking thing apart, hit it with a goddamn pressure washer, and put it back together. The cleaning process here is extremely lengthy as well. This entire procedure here, it's going to take up an entire day just trying to get this unicorn to shit for you. It is a real investment of time.
Using your spoon, stir in any remaining water that might have settled on top. Once your slime is at a good consistency, remove it from the bowl and either hold it in your hand or set it down on a protective surface.
And it's all worth it in the end. The hours you spent bonding with this unicorn, helping it eat and drink to shit all over the place, is well worth it because you get that precious slime in the end and you get to just play around with it. They have like glitter you can add to it and it's just a great time. So yeah, I think this goes without saying, but this is probably the worst toy I've ever seen. And I actually can't imagine a more unfun toy for anyone of any age. This shit fucking sucks. Setting aside like the scat fetish undertones, what the fuck is the fun here? You spend like an entire day getting this unicorn to shit into a toilet bowl so you can play with its slime. Like, it's dumb. It's fucking stupid. That's about it. So yeah. There is no demographic more lucrative than insecure, lonely men, desperate to prove that they can be the alpha male they were destined to become. So we've been seeing a lot of these alpha male boot camps spring up rapidly like weeds in a garden, and I've already covered one of these programs extensively. However, I just found a new one that is equally as embarrassing that I have to just point, laugh, and shoot spitballs at. This is the Unbreakable Man experience.
I'm strong. Move forward. Move forward. Move forward. I'm a man. Forward. I am. Move I am a man. I am a man. I am a man.
Just to dispel the rumors, that's not me in the video. I know he's got long hair, a beard, and a white t-shirt, but there's millions of people on the planet that dress like a cartoon character like I do. It's not me, I swear. If I wanted to run around screaming I am a man, I'd be doing it with Matt right now in the back of a Walmart parking lot, not in the middle of a abandoned CrossFit.
I am a man! I am a man! Move forward! I am a man! No!
Oh, you can feel the catharsis wash over him here. In fact, I'm getting an experience myself just watching him have this release. Now you might be asking yourself, why is this goober pushing Binging with Babish down a dirt road screaming I am a man in his face? And it's pretty clear, you're a beta cuck. You don't get it. You don't understand what testosterone does in a man's body when it's latent and not able to be harnessed and utilized. This is the power that you can expect when you just fully let go. It's like a Saiyan going Super Saiyan for the first time. Like, the earth around him is shaking. Luckily, they had a gimbal, which kept the camera steady. But if you were there, you were probably registering an earthquake on the fucking Richter scale with this guy having this kind of release. As the caption says, this is a man overcoming his fear and asserting his power. Dropping the sarcasm for a moment, I'm extremely curious what fear this guy had. A fear of bald people? Like, what did he overcome here? A fear of yelling, perhaps? Has he never played Xbox Live? It's pretty much nothing but yelling. I'm sure he's yelled in his life. Like, what fear did he overcome here? And also, what power was he asserting? He was just yelling in your face because you told him to. He's following orders. He's not even asserting himself. He's being subservient to you. And he also paid thousands of dollars to be here. So he's also been financially butt-fucked by you. You have dominated this man. You've got him on a leash. This is the furthest thing from being assertive I have ever seen. So what in tarnation did he actually overcome in this exercise? Like, if he has a fucking flight phobia, like I do, he didn't do anything to conquer that. He's still gonna be afraid of planes. Like, nothing happened. All he did was yell in your face. Like, you're giving him this delusion of accomplishing something.
There. 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 There.
The caption on the video was correct though. You won't believe what happens at the end. The two share a passionate kiss and make love by candleside. So he's now in this like refractory period, I suppose, where he's overexerted himself. He is overrun with emotion because he allowed himself to let go and assert himself. So yeah, now he's on cooldown. He blew his load. He used his ultimate, so now it's recharging, and he's being coddled by the instructor. When a man taps into his power, a grieving process happens. This is a natural release of the old self. And the new self is 10 times more pathetic and 5 times as broke, since you're thousands of dollars in the shitter for this worthless experience, this worthless 3-day camp that you've attended here. Honestly, grieving in this situation does make sense though, because you've wasted thousands of dollars now in this position, and it's all caught on video too with this embarrassing moment. Like, this is undoubtedly something that you're going to be getting red in the face over for years to come when you reflect on it. And what a pseudo-intellectual statement that when a man taps into his natural power, a grieving process happens. In what universe? Ugh, I'm too powerful. The world wasn't ready. My natural power. It's overwhelming to mere mortals. I shed tears for them. Now they'll have to be in the presence of the alpha male. I have awakened.
There you are, child. There you are.
Now that is how you do marketing right there. That's a masterclass in advertising. You're telling me if I sign up for the Unbreakable Man experience right now, I get the privilege of getting to shed tears and moan into a grown man's chest in the middle of a dirt road while he nibbles on my man bun? What? I'm ready. I'm out the door. I've got the credit card and all the wacky numbers on the back ready to give it to you. And what's that? It's only $3,500 or 3 easy payments of $1,250? I'm losing money not signing up for the Unbreakable Man experience. Now, before diving into why I might want to sign up for the Unbreakable Man, I do want to say that I recognize that yelling and screaming and just like going hog wild does make you feel better sometimes. Like having that big release is actually sometimes pretty helpful to just dump emotions out there. But the beauty is, I can do that for free. Everybody can. I would never pay $3,500 to have a self-proclaimed guru tell me to hoot and holler at this boys' summer camp for the band club. Why in the fucking world would you be paying for that? It's such an unbelievable waste of money that's preying on the gullible people that are desperate to have something in their lives turn around to improve their situation, not realizing that they're only falling deeper and deeper into a bad path. They're being led by scammers who are just taking money out of their piggy bank and getting nothing of value in return for it. It's fucking sad. Like, I do legitimately feel bad for the people that attend these courses. They're not in a good spot, and they just want something better for themselves, and they buy into this brainwashing from these absolute fucking heathens that are telling them that this is the way. This will unlock your true potential. This is how you become an alpha. Right now, you're a bitch, but with me suckling on my bosom and giving me doubloons, I can change that for you. And they're so desperate that they do it. It sucks. Like, it really does make me feel bad for these individuals. You know, maybe I'm being a little too harsh on the Unbreakable Man. Look how effective this sounds. It gives you the step-by-step process to take command of your inner world. So it's going to give you a fucking domain expansion, I guess. Optimize your mind-body emotions. Eliminate negative beliefs with the Mindset Mastery formula. Take decisive action in life with the Clarity formula. So many formulas here, Plankton's head would be spinning. Get results you want in life using our gamification process. Gamification process. Though gamification would be pretty hype if they just start turning you into the fucking Hulk or something, blasting you with gamma rays. And reclaim your authentic self by teaching you how to tap into your masculine nature. Important. What I'm about to tell you next is vital to your success. You can't do this alone. Caps locked. That language right there is extremely manipulative. You can't do this alone. It's trying to convince whoever is somewhat on the fence about this that no matter what they do, you can't handle your problems without them. And you can't have access to them, the people that can solve your problems, these gurus, without paying them. It's your only option, because you can't do it alone. It's trying to get them to feed off of them immediately, so that way they're not independent. It's aiming to take away the men's individuality so they just buy into the herd like sheep, so that way they can only rely on the Unbreakable Man network and the ghouls that run it. So that way you can keep being exploited for more money and hosed down the line for it. But check out these cool perks you get. Access to the online Brotherhood portal. Jeez, man, that sounds really familiar. It's almost like every single one of these scams offers that exact same fucking thing. That's odd. That's so odd. You get 3-month access to the exclusive online network. You don't even get it for life, by the way. You just get fucking 3 months of it. That's like an extremely expensive subscription plan there. And then you get the Unbreakable Man training system. And of course, on-demand support from high-value men in the online Brotherhood. Pay thousands of dollars and get access to a couple of YouTube videos and maybe a Zoom meeting. Maybe even like a Discord group. Holy shit. Now that is bang for your buck. What an unbreakable man you'll become with all of those videos in the palm of your hands.
In the heart of every man there is a calling. This is a calling to serve a purpose greater than himself.
Yeah, and that purpose is to give all of your money to these scammers. That's the only purpose you serve in their eyes. That's all you're good for to these people. Just a fucking coin block to be hitting Mario for them.
For millennia, men would go through a process of initiation to uncover their purpose, step into their power, and unlock their potential.
The only potential you unlock from one of these alpha male boot camps is the potential to be a shameless pay piggy and just forking over money for mumbo jumbo nonsense. I promise you will never find a purpose while attending one of these. Paying thousands of dollars for some Discord servers and a 3-day vacation is not going to do anything to improve your life. You're just going to be in a worse place than when you started. You're going to have less money and more shame.
Recently, a modernized rite of passage has been created, known as the Unbreakable Man experience. This is a process to reclaim your soul as a man.
If you pay for these types of courses, you don't have a soul anymore. Your soul is theirs, like Shang Tsung. For $3,500, 3,500 clams, you can hire a personal trainer. You can hire a nutritionist. You can hire a therapist. You can actually hire real specialists, real professionals to actually help you make improvements in your life and change things and make things better for yourself, as opposed to giving $3,500 for a 3-day camp where you just go and take an ice bath and push a bald man down a dirt road. You're not getting anything out of that experience. You could use that money for so much more and actually make your life better. But instead, people are just getting brainwashed into this dog shit. It's sad, because like I said, people have started to notice that the most lucrative demographic right now is lonely, desperate men. So they're taking advantage of that every chance they get to exploit it. So yeah, just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's it. So yeah. For decades now, nay, for centuries, men have always wondered, how do you respond when an alpha male insults you? A question that has plagued the minds of the masculine brain for too long, and today I found the answers on a pickup artist forum page. Now, most of you know, I love pickup artistry. I think it is the most pure cringe. It's like a new element for the periodic table of just like this condensed cringe that is truly just a unique blend of delusion, patheticness, desperation, and loneliness, all rolled into one fine joint that I love to smoke. So if you don't know what pickup artists are, it's men that read these guides, buy these courses on how to pick up women in the field. So in real life, how to approach women with pickup lines and get laid. And it has pretty much a 0% success rate for the majority of pickup artists, which makes it so fun. And it's of course extremely creepy, but it's hard not to laugh at it. Now, what we're going to be talking about today is a post that I was made aware of from 2010 on a big pickup artist forums site. And it's all about how to respond when an alpha male insults you. This is vintage cringe. List down insults you have heard and we'll find cool answers to them so you're prepared when alpha males try to make fun of you. Like this. Insult. Why do you smell funny? Answer. It's called soap. Don't think you've ever smelt it before. And then in parentheses, this is your like indicator. You don't want to say this out loud. This is just notes for you. Make a big smile and tongue mouth. I don't know what that tongue mouth means. Like, do you stick your tongue in his mouth so you just fucking French kiss him? Why do you smell funny? It's called soap. And you just like get in there. Like, I don't know what tongue mouth means. Maybe that's like early mewing. This may have been mewing before it was cool. I'm not sure. But yeah, basically you say it's called soap, and then you hit him with none of these, and then like that, I guess. Now, I'm not exactly an alpha male, but I imagine that you'd probably get your ass beat if you did that, because it'd be creepy. It'd probably be ruled self-defense because you came at him with that, like, psychopath energy with that response. Now, it's written like a fourth grader came up with this. Why do you smell funny? What kind of adult would ever say that to somebody, to be honest? They'd probably just say, like, you stink or you smell like shit, not, why do you smell funny? But you want to know what's wild is I know it's not a child that wrote this, because all of these pickup artists back in their heyday were like early to mid 20s, sometimes early 30s. So this is a grown adult that came up with this. Dude's just stewing in his swamp ass in his room, coming up with these imaginary scenarios with insults, and then like theory crafting the optimal response to it. And he comes up with this zinger. It's called soap. God, that's lame. He was probably one of the lead writers on the new Saints Row game. That's that quality of writing. Continuing forward, insult. Wow, what an ugly t-shirt. Answer. Yeah, that can be fixed, but your face can't. Bang, bang. And then everyone that's in the vicinity just starts clapping, going, ooh. A male tries to make fun of you by saying something like, oh, you're so cool, or you look like insert funny man, creature, whatever. Good answers could be, I wish I could get even half as funny as you one day, and then ignore him. Or, aw, look at him trying to be funny. And now he takes his bow saying, bring him on, welcoming the rest of the pickup artist community to contribute some of their own insults and answers. These are pretty powerful, so I hope you've got your pen and paper out to be taking notes on these in case you ever need to unleash them. I don't know where these insults are coming from. Like, these aren't insults I think anyone has said for the last 50 years to another human being. What kind of alpha male is going to say, wow, what an ugly t-shirt? I can't picture Chad Fuckhammer out of the blue walking down the street, seeing a pickup artist and being like, wow, what an ugly t-shirt. No, who does that? Where? In what fantasy? Like, I just really don't think this is happening. There's not like this secret war between the alpha chads and the pickup artists. But even in this fantasy land, the pickup artists are making themselves the losers there too. with the chads saying your shirt's ugly, or you look like weird creature, or whatever. Like, it is actually sad, and I've said this before. Pickup artistry used to be a huge movement. Luckily, it's died out very much over the last few years. But back in the 2010s, so many young men bought into it, bought courses and all kinds of guides and shit. It was like the early looks maxing, but for getting laid through the worst advice and the creepiest lines you could ever possibly imagine. So I have no doubt that this guy here is one of those individuals that really, like, bought into it hook, line, and sinker. And hopefully, 14 years later, they have realized that that was just a cringy period of their life and they have grown from it. That's what I'm praying for. Now, the rest of the comments don't really play into, like, here's an insult, here's an answer. They're mainly saying, like, if an alpha male insults you, just brush it off. You're better without that kind of stress anyway. But there are a couple that do give you some kind of insult and comeback, like this post. I agree with the others. You shouldn't feel the need to rage/give a comeback. Answer to the others, not him. If you have to, I would playfully correct the "you're fat" response. Again, what I'm reading here feels like it's out of like an old cartoon or something, with like a cartoonishly douchey bully that just all the time is shoving the main character into the locker saying, your shirt's ugly, fatso, or whatever. Get out of the hallway, stupid face. So that's the kind of energy here. I don't think any of this is happening to any of the posters. Hopefully not. I hope they're not getting bullied like this, and that's what's like the catalyst to these posts. But anyway, insult, you're fat, or whatever. Comeback, playfully, haha, well, you're ugly. I can lose weight. Small pause where you look serious, then break into a playful smile and loosen up. It's like stage directions in theater class. Maybe they're all like classically trained thespians, perhaps. I'm not really sure, but this is so interesting. Like, imagine you're trying to like recall these steps if someone says you're fat and you're like, you're ugly, I can lose weight. Oh, I forgot the small pause. Okay, then break out into a small, playful smile, loosen up. No, just kidding, dude. You're great. pat on the shoulder to lower his social value, then turn to the group like nothing happened. How does patting someone on the shoulder lower their social value? Do you have the cheese touch? You just reach over, pat him on the shoulder, and he's like, no! My social value, no! Like, starts melting. I don't get what this means. Like, this whole scenario is very peculiar. So it's in a group setting, and someone in the group just points to you and says, you're fat? Who would do that? The group must hate that person. They must not be like a friend to the group. I couldn't really understand what this one meant, but I really like the way that it's worded. So it's quoting some other post in here. However, if a target insults you, it's always beneficial to be witty in a cocky/funny way. I like how they refer to the alpha male as a target, making it seem like it's an assassination mission or something like this, like you're Agent 47. And this pickup artist, quote, responds to that message saying, unless it's a shit test, then you win by pretending you didn't hear. Where am I? Pardon? I'm gonna need some more clarification. What does that mean? Unless it's a shit test, then you win by pretending you didn't hear. Is that a euphemism? Like, what am I missing out on? A shit test? You're submitting stool samples now? Or maybe, like, unless you're in a public restroom and you're shitting, and then the only way you win is by pretending you don't hear the person shitting. What does it mean? Am I overthinking it? I don't understand. I sat here racking my brain for at least 10 minutes trying to figure out what the fuck that could possibly mean, and I've got nothing. So putting this entire riddle together, however, if a target insults you, it's always beneficial to be witty in a cocky/funny way. Unless it's a shit test, then you win by pretending you didn't hear. Initially, I thought maybe it was some kind of War Games reference, the only winning move is not to play, but that doesn't really fit because what is the shit test in that equation? Are we talking about actual poop? Like real feces poop? Like I don't know. I don't know what it means. I can't implement this one. The alpha males are going to eat me alive. I can't follow these directions. You know what else I can't follow? Is this fanfic. This is the most outrageous nonsense story ever constructed. This is in the same forum post about like the insults and the comebacks. They're giving an anecdote here. I was in the field today with a friend of mine because he's a pickup artist soldier on the front lines. We were sitting and these two girls are staring at us. After finishing my milkshake, we went over there. My friend said, "Hey, what do you think of my friend?" Me. "I know, totally wrong approach, but you can always try." Sunglass emoji. Then she said, "He is ugly." My response, "I'm sorry, I don't think that it isn't going to work out between us because you are too arrogant." When their jaws finally touched the ground, we walked away. Evil emoji. Mwahaha. I never talked to such a bitch, but I still wonder why they were looking the whole time. Of every story ever told, that's definitely one of them. What a lot to process. So they were drinking milkshakes, and there were some girls staring at them, so they go over and say, "What do you think of my friend?" And they say, "He's ugly." So he says that it won't work out between them because she's too arrogant, and for some reason that put their jaws on the floor in shock. So then they walked away, doing an evil Joker laugh, mwahahaha, like Mandark from Dexter's Lab. Pretty cool story with a very strong positive message buried deep within there somewhere, I'm sure. Hopefully this has been helpful to those of you out there that are being preyed upon by the alpha males. Hopefully this gives you the tools to fight back with witty comebacks. That's about it. See ya. There's been a ferocious debate that's raged on in the gaming community for a long time about trying to identify who is the stupidest individual in the entire industry, and I think most people have kind of agreed that it has to be John Riccitiello. He was the former Unity CEO who nearly led that company to the grave, nearly sinking a massive business through some of the worst business acumen I've seen since Mr. Krabs tried to charge for breathing. Also, speaking of charging for breathing, John Riccitiello really took some notes out of that playbook because he's also the former EA head who pitched the idea of potentially charging per reload. So this ghoul's name lives in infamy. He's like the gaming industry's Morbius. He just keeps coming up with flops and creatively failing. However, with the catastrophic blunder from Escape from Tarkov, a new name has entered the conversation for stupidest man in the video games industry, Nikita of Battle State Games. So I covered this a couple days ago. Pretty much everyone has because it's been a huge deal, even outside of the Escape from Tarkov community. It's just an example of the worst parts of gaming with unbelievable, unchecked greed, misleading their community, fundamentally scamming their players, and a lot of shady shit that's also been going on at BSG here. And all of it over the last few days has served to kind of act like Chaozu on Nappa, just self-destructing this entire fucking company. So there's been two major updates that I just want to cover because it seems like Nikita has recognized the disaster that has unfolded here, and he is finally biting his pride, swallowing his ego, and trying to put out the fire that he has caused. So he's made some brief statements on it where he really wanted to stick to his guns and puff out his chest, fucking lat spreading here and refusing to move like a strong oak tree. No matter how much, controversy comes, hell or high water, he's not budging. That was like the hardball he tried to play initially. Then he was singing a little bit of a different tune when he dropped this update yesterday. He said, "Hello again. Let me clarify the situation in a little more detail regarding owners of the EOD version and access to the cooperative mode, and also other issues. First of all, PvE game mode, this is not DLC. DLC, in my understanding, is the major additions to the game, including variations, functionality, and content that are released after the official release of the game as a themed DLC pack, Scav Life DLC, for example, which will add a lot of new mechanics and content for Scav gameplay and leveling." This is horseradish. This is like trying to argue that a poop is not a shit. It makes no sense whatsoever. You're just getting into these outrageous, mental gymnastics to try and explain why it's not DLC, even though by every possible definition, it is. And the reason this is so important, in case you're not caught up with the lore, is owners of the EOD edition were promised all future DLC for free. They paid a lot of money for EOD, and were promised future DLC will be free. However, with the Unheard edition, it was not going to be free. They were still charging $250, thus the EOD owners would still have to pay the extra money to upgrade to that, which goes against what was advertised for the EOD edition, which you can't do. That's misleading advertisement. You're fucking lying. You're fundamentally scamming with that. So he's trying very hard to come out of this squeaky clean with an explanation that no, it's not DLC. The Unheard edition, this is super different, not DLC. Thus, we don't have to play by our own rules that we set here. It's dumb. It's fucking stupid. Nikita does some more whippets here and continues saying, "Secondly, the specific functionality of the PvE mode is necessarily located entirely on a separate network infrastructure because, essentially, you play on our servers only in closed mode. At this stage, it's not possible to launch all players who are EOD holders. We don't have the required resources." He goes on to basically say they recognized everyone was super unhappy with this shit and they were tired of getting spit on for it, so they're going to be giving the PvE mode to all EOD version owners for free at the release of the game, when the server infrastructure will be improved to required capacity, also offering a 50% discount when upgrading to the Unheard version from EOD. Then they're also giving a Left Behind edition key to everyone who's already upgraded to the Unheard edition at the old price. And then goes on to say, more so that any player of any version of EFT can have the opportunity to test the PvE mode. We want to add the ability to purchase a separate early access to this mode. For EOD owners, there will be a 70% discount on the purchase of early access to PvE. It would be interesting to hear your thoughts on this idea. Next, regarding special items for the Unheard version, we plan to make restrictive or balancing changes for these items. This is it for now. Please share your thoughts. Thank you. Hey, Nikita, I'm sharing my thoughts. This isn't good enough. Where's the, hey, I'm sorry for being a greedy asshole? Where's that in this whole statement? Where's the, hey guys, look, I'm kind of a stupid idiot, I've been huffing that moron juice for a little too long and I saw too many dollar bills on the table, so I made a dumb decision. Where's the level of accountability for this? It's a terrible, 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 terrible decision that you see had a horrible effect on your game and it made you panic. He's been desperately trying to lessen the blowback here while also not apologizing for anything, not admitting that it was a mistake, but he's still not doing nearly enough at all. I'm sharing my thoughts here, Nikita. I think you're a goober. I think you're a stupid goober. There's still pay-to-win, huge game-changing features being offered here. It is still pay-to-win. He states that they're going to do some more balancing around it. It's vague, but how about you just remove them? Just get rid of them. Like, people are fine with cosmetics. Like, take a temperature of your community. It seems like 99% would prefer if they were just cosmetics that you get here as opposed to pay-to-win items. Also, I don't even know why I'm, like, harping on this one because he did make another update, but I'm just still so shocked at this one that he thought this would be enough. It's not. And most sensible people called him out on it, saying that, nah, this just isn't going to fucking cut it. This isn't going to save Tarkov from what you've done here. So he came back 9 hours ago with this. Greetings. I love the way he starts this, just making it sound like he's super enthusiastic. Like, he's got that holly jolly spirit running through his veins right now. He can't wait. He's got a big old smile on his face, even though I know that's not the case. That greetings can't hide the tears behind the keyboard that he's typing from. Let me continue my feedback on the current situation. First of all, I would like to say that I am very sorry that fans in the game community in general are experiencing these feelings. Unfortunately, I somehow did not foresee the fact of such a reaction, and now I have drawn conclusions for my future decisions. Unironically dropping a, I'm sorry you feel that way. That's impressive. That's such a non-apology off rip. This dude just can't. He cannot admit that he made a huge fuck up here. He can't admit that the core idea of charging 250 clams for a DLC and then absolutely butt-fucking everyone who grabbed your EOD edition is bad. The only thing he's taking accountability for is not foreseeing the community's reactions, which blows my mind because I don't know how you wouldn't see that coming unless your eyes are just closed. I don't know. He just puts like $100 bills over his eyes and closes himself off to the world. I don't know how you wouldn't expect that. But the only thing he's apologizing for is that people were upset at the situation. He's basically just like, hey, I didn't think you guys would be upset about being scammed. That's a head scratcher. Man, that's so weird. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't think you guys were so fucking sensitive about being charged $250 and being lied to for this scam. Sorry, you feel that way, I guess. It's just a classic non-apology. Now, I'll briefly summarize the main points. 1. About PvE access, we decided to just open it for EOD owners for free, but we will do it in waves. And as I said before, we don't have the server capacity right now. We will start this process as soon as possible. So he's finally caving and just saying, you know what? Alright, all EOD owners, we're doing it, and we're doing it in waves. We'll do it live. No mention on the frequency of those waves. I saw the comment section was still eating him alive, saying, I bet those waves are every 6 months. Referencing the initial compromise where he's like, okay, we'll give you a free trial of 6 months. So it could still be that, I suppose. He's just changing the wording around it. 2, we also decided that we'll add mod support for PvE mode after the release of the game, which is pretty fucking big from what I understand here. 3, about the Unheard Edition. We will not remove it. We want to keep the option for those who want to support the game more. But we will balance items, perks in this edition, as well as we will provide more rewards for those who upgraded with the old price. If that's more pay-to-win items, I'm actually going to squeal. We're going to provide more rewards for those who upgraded. Here's some more pay-to-win. That would actually have me squealing. But he's just referencing that the community knows this is all pay-to-win, so they're going to be balancing it. The best way of balancing that, Nikita, is to take that shit out. People don't want that in their games. No one wants to pay for an advantage or play a game where people can pay for an advantage over those who don't. It sucks. It's terrible for the health of your game. So just fucking remove it and replace those bonuses with cool cosmetics or something like that. Something that doesn't drastically change the game or even really change it in any way would be optimal. Just purely cosmetic shit would be preferable. 4. New EOD perks will be balanced too. We will remove prioritized matching option to keep everyone in the same spot, and we will add more unique stuff to highlight the EOD version in general. We will provide the final list of the new EOD perks ASAP. This one's huge because they're getting rid of one of the most alarming features they were touting, which was prioritized matchmaking through paying 250 fucking doubloons. So they're like, okay, we'll just get rid of that. That's good. That is just good, no matter how you look at that. Thankfully, they're getting rid of it. It's really concerning that they were even toying around, well, not even toying around, it's really concerning that they were actually going to go through with the idea of introducing a prioritized matchmaking feature to this game. That is a huge red flag, but it's going bye-bye now, so the community is just going to have to trust that in the future, Nikita won't try and pull some shit like that again. I don't know how you'd ever have trust in this guy at the helm of this company going forward, but That's not for me to decide. That's going to be for individual players. And 5, we continue to work on patches, new content, events, and the game release itself no matter what. Thank you for your time, love, and hate, and thank you for your increased attention to the current situation, Nick. Hey, no problem at all, Nick. I'm always happy to insult greedy little assholes like you. So, the community's response to this one has been much more positive because they are directly addressing some of the bigger problems and introducing their solutions to it. Now, they are not budging on the $250 price, which I am still upset about, even as someone who was never going to buy it. I hate the precedent that sets. If a lot of people buy $250 DLC, obviously other games are going to be taking note of that and seeing how far they can push these prices and also how closely they can tap dance on this line. Because Nikita right now is unironically a pioneer. He is stepping on every possible landmine of greed, so that way every other video game company can take notes of what communities will and will not accept. So he's doing a lot of guinea pigging for the entire industry right now, and it makes me a little concerned going forward. Another thing that's absent from this update is addressing the fact that they lied. Like, point blank, lied. And they also tried to sneakily change shit on their website to hide that fact. No mention of that at all, and that's super scummy. So I do think that's something that they really need to continue to be grilled on. And thankfully they still are. I did mention that it has been more positively received, but it's not by everybody, of course. There are too many people that feel betrayed by this company, and they don't want to continue to support this. If they can't trust the developer down the line to not try and fuck their wallet again, why are they going to continue to invest time into this game and money? It wouldn't make sense. So a lot of people are leaving for sure, and a lot of people are still calling out these facts that not everything is, sunshine and unicorns here. Like, it's not really a full win or anything like that. It's just better in a bad situation that was made out of it. In the comment section, he did reply to a really important question where a user said, "You have still not addressed the fact you are planning to release DLC for the game that was not going to be delivered to EOD owners. Please confirm that EOD owners will receive all content for the game in the future as promised when we purchase the product." And he responded saying, "Yes, EOD owners will receive all of the DLCs." So I don't know if this is him slyly finally falling on his own sword here and admitting that the Unheard Edition is DLC. It is DLC. No matter how much he's tried to argue the opposite, I think this is finally him just eating shit on it and saying that yes, it is DLC, thus we will make good on our promise that EOD owners will get it for free. However, a comment that replied under his made a really good point, that this is only applicable until they try and make an argument again in the future about how their newest DLC is actually not DLC. So I agree with that user that there is a good chance that fast forward a year, 2 years, however long from now, when Tarkov's got another major version coming out here, a new major content delivery, he might try something similar about, this one's really not DLC, so EOD owners will not be receiving this one for free. You will need to pay for the upgrade, all that hoopla again. Go through this entire song and dance once more. I do think it's possible, but I have no idea. Maybe Nikita put his hand on the stove, realized it's hot, and took it off and won't put it back on. There's no telling. This was a stupid, entirely avoidable situation that BSG found themselves in here. Their greed nearly ruined their entire game, and it still might have. There's probably plenty of people who have totally lost trust in Tarkov and won't stick around. I think there's a good chunk of players that are falling into that camp, and I think that's great. But there's still plenty of people that are going to play and support this game because they love the game. They might not love Nikita and they might not love the company behind it, but the game really hits for them, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it does suck that no matter what Nikita and BSG did here, they are still going to be making tons and tons and tons of money from this. Like, they went through, a handful of days of being, made fun of and clowned on, but they're still going to end up making an absolute fucking ton of cash from charging $250 for this DLC. But yeah, anyway, that's where the whole Tarkov situation is at here. I do think Nikita should be in the conversation for stupidest person in the gaming industry right now. Tarkov is a massively popular game that he almost ruined. Like, straight up buried from this greed. So I think that is a very impressive feat that you don't see often. Games of this size don't usually collapse unless a competitor comes out and beats it, which right now isn't happening with Tarkov. It still has an absolute stranglehold on this genre. So it is pretty impressive just how bad of a decision this was, and how reluctant Nikita was to change it, or do anything at all to make the situation any better for themselves. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Glass is fire. Glass is so bad. Such a pathetic end to what he built up with that. I thought Glass was awful. I can't remember if I moist metered it. I think I did. But that was when I was still way too nice to things. I think I gave that like a 50. You gave it a 60. God, I used to be so nice on the moist meters. Holy shit. You gave the Mummy 2017 a 50, which is crazy. Oh my god, that's so wild. I was so nice on the early moist meters. Check the moist meter website and go over your past reviews. That's not a bad idea. Let me see. Someone put them all there? Wow, someone made a .org for it. Like, that's so cool. I was way too nice on Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, though, I will say. I think the main reason why I kind of gave it a little more than it deserved, I'd probably give it like a 50 now. But I gave it a 60 because I still had fun watching it with my parents. It's like the first movie we went to the movie theater to see together in a long time. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I'd probably go lower, like a 30, 40-ish. I still put it on the worst movies of the 2023 list, though. But I definitely think that's way below 50. I don't know why I was so nice to it there. That was in 2023. The gloves had already come off. I don't know why I gave it a 50. All these are looking about right. Except for Thor. Whoa, 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 whoa. I drank a stupid potion on 7/7/2022. I gave Thor Love and Thunder a 65. Who let me hit the crack pipe? That movie is trash. That's one of my least favorite Marvel movies, up there with Ant-Man and the Wasp. No, that can't be correct. I gave this a 65? Someone laced my popcorn with Fint. What happened? What happened? Check the source material. I mean, they seem very thorough on this website here. I guess I did, but man, I don't know what came over me. Yeah, that one is baffling. Actually baffling that I gave it that high. Nowadays, logically, I'd definitely be putting that in the 30, 40-ish. Probably not 40, but like 30, 35-ish. That movie is atrocious. It does like nothing right. I even remember some of the things I was saying in there were scathing. Why did I end up giving it a 65? Was it just because of that shit, the black and white on the planet? And Christian Bale I thought did a good job, but there's no way I'd let him carry me to a 65. Oh, this one's weird. This is in the other direction. I'd give the Batman a little more than 80. I think the main reason I did that is because I really thought the entire car chase sequence was fucking stupid. Like, it wasn't visually bad or anything, but it was really stupid narratively. I must have really let that affect me. I must have made me real mad at the time. Because everything else about that movie is great. Battlefield 2042 on launch was damn near unplayable. I ended up putting it on the worst game list. But I gave it a 65 because I believed that it'd be better by the end of the year. I kind of saw into the future and was very wrong about it. Holy shit, I gave Eternals a 60. What the fuck? 60 is fair, honestly. It is not. It's more like a 45. At the time, it was one of the worst MCU movies, but now we've definitely seen worse, so you're looking at it in hindsight like, I guess Turtles wasn't that bad compared to things like Thor, Love and Thunder, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. But it's still not good. It was also really nice to Venom Let There Be Carnage. I thought that was extraordinarily forgettable, so much so, in fact, that I barely remember anything from it. I gave Old a 60. What is wrong with me? Why did I give Old a 60? What the fuck? Oh, and even more insultingly, I put Black Widow on the third worst movie of the year, but I gave it a 70. What are my scores? What was I doing? What are these scores? These can't be right. There's no way. Because I remember even pointing out how fucking stupid the entire movie was, especially with the villain whose superpowers stink. He's stinky, so she can't hurt him. The scores just had, like, I must have just been pulling numbers out of my ass, or Jackson did me dirty or something. Because Jackson and I used to converse on these for a while, but nowadays he doesn't really see any new movies, so it's just me. Like, maybe that's what was happening here? I can't recall. But, like, there's no way. That movie super sucks. No, I know these link to the video. Like, I have no doubt that he got this right. Like, this is what the score was. I'm just wondering why it would have been that. Because I remember hating this movie when I saw it. Like I said, though, it might have just been because Jackson and I used to do them together. And then just, like, meet on, like, where our scores matched. Or meet, like, in the middle of our scores-ish. So maybe that's what was going on? I don't know. That's crazy, though, to give Black Widow a 70. I went, like, full-blown IGN here. All of these still seem good to me. Except Cold War. I don't know why I give Call of Duty Cold War a 70. Had a cool campaign, but terrible multiplayer. I ended up putting like no time into the multiplayer. That's definitely too high for Cold War. Thanks for Shark. Cyberpunk 2077 a 70. Yeah, that game barely worked on launch. I had so many bugs on my playthrough. I had so many problems with that game. It was very half-baked. Yeah, absolutely. It's great now. Cyberpunk is great now. But on launch, it was so bad that it actually got taken off of, was it PS3? Not PS3. No, actually. Yeah, it got taken off of the PlayStation Store because it would not work. PS4. Because it would not work on the PS4. Probably should have been lower, actually. I didn't weigh that hard enough. Marvel's Avengers is 65. Where's that? What is happening to me? Who am I? Who was I? Marvel's Avengers is 65. What was I? Jesus Christ. A 65 for that is terrible. Yeah, no, I hated that game. I didn't even... It had to be with Jackson, because like I said, we used to make these together. It had to be... We, like, compared our thoughts and met on a score, because there's no way, in my right mind, I would have ever given that a 65. That game sucked. I hated it. I made fun of that game for so long, too. Like, it's so weird. I was, like, super harsh on something like Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which I actually liked, but was extremely nice to something like Marvel's Avengers that I fucking hated. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't add up. This is a resub, Josiah. Rise of Skywalker, a 40. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, just dog shit. I'd probably drop it to like a 30, but it's not like outrageously high or anything. That's not something that's like catching my eye. It's just some of these are either a little too high or a little too low. Like one of them I saw that's a little too low was, where was it? Oh, here, Last of Us 2. I feel like a 55 is definitely too low for The Last of Us 2. I was just really disappointed with the direction the story went, that I think it clouded everything else. Everything was still like an improvement gameplay-wise over the first one. And it's not like it was a terrible story, but the order in which they tell the story I thought was bad, and I thought the ending of this story was really bad and kind of nullifies a lot of what I think Last of Us wanted to build up for itself. But it's definitely not a 55. That should have been higher. And then something like Midsommar. I don't like Midsommar. I think it is a remarkable step down from Hereditary, which I think is a masterpiece in horror. Like, I don't like it, but a 25 for Midsommar is crazy. Like, it's so weird to look at some of these ratings here. From 2019 to 2021, my ratings had, like, no consistency to them whatsoever. They are legitimately just all over the fucking place. Then I gave Toy Story 4 a 90. Like, what the fuck? Your early reviews are even crazier. Are they? Yeah, we're still only in 2019. Man, this scale was all cattywampus here. Like, some of them I obviously still agree with, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a 50. I'd probably still give it a 50 today. I think that is one of Quentin Tarantino's weakest works. Like, a lot of these I still 100% agree with, but then there were some where I was just feeling some type of way. I was on that loony juice. Man, they blasted me with that dumb beam. Damn, I was really harsh on Godzilla King of the Monsters. What the fuck? No wonder Godzilla fans were really mad at me for that. I definitely think it's the weakest of all of the new Godzilla movies, but definitely not a 30.
I gave Aladdin a 65.
Live action Aladdin. Who was this guy? Who was young Charles? And it's weird, because here's a movie I liked. The new Hellboy. Hellboy fans were super upset at it, but I thought it was really fun. Like, it has almost nothing in common with, like, the great Hellboys or anything. But man, that movie was so fucking enjoyable, especially the last 15, 20 minutes. And I gave it a 35. What was going on in my noodle? These don't make any sense. Well, some of them don't make any sense. What the fuck is The Prodigy? What is this movie? I don't remember it at all. What the fuck is it? God, I saw every dog shit horror movie ever. Still do. LMAO, Maz out of 20. Maz sucks. That movie was terrible. This movie is really bad. I remember this one. This one was about that lady who just like wanted to feel like a kid again, like real hip, so she like buys alcohol for some kids and stuff and lets them party in her basement. It's super stupid. That movie's trash. That's definitely a 20. I don't remember The Prodigy. I guess it's a 40. Seems a little high. Why the fuck is Kingdom Hearts 3 a 70? Where's Kingdom Hearts 3? Brother, I couldn't tell you why I gave that a 70. Those were still some of the most miserable streams I ever did. Yet I ended up giving it a 70. Gameplay was fun, and actually not a single other thing about it. And not even all of the gameplay. Oh my god, why was I so harsh on replicas? I remember the movie very well, which I guess is more than I can say for half of these fucking things that I was giving 60s and 70s to willy-nilly. Replicas is that Keanu Reeves movie, which is actually a really sad concept for a movie in regards to Keanu Reeves being in it. Because it's about his family dying, and he can't cope with the loss, so he creates replicas of his family. And it's not a good movie by any means, unfortunately, but I think it's a really personal one for Keanu Reeves, given what he's gone through in his life. And I tore into it. Jesus. I remember even pointing that out, too. I don't know why I ended up giving it a 10. It is bad, though. It is not a good movie. Wow, there's a movie I haven't thought about in a long time. Mortal Engines. What a cool concept for a film and then a dog shit movie. Okay, some of these are starting to make a little... Like, I'm starting to agree with 2018 Charles a little more often than, like, 2019. This is a little high for this. But only slightly. I'd probably give it, like, a 30, 35. RDR2, he's geeking. Nope. I'd absolutely still give that an 80 today. 100%. Amazing game, amazing story. I will never, ever, ever, ever replay it. It is a fucking slog. Nakey Jakey made 2 great videos going over some of the shortcomings of Red Dead Redemption 2, echoing my thoughts to the T. That I got fucking blasted for when I did my moist meter on it. So this one, 100%, I'd absolutely still give it an 80. I will never touch that game again, but it was an amazing game. Oh my god, I was nice to Black Ops 4, an 85. That was when I was in full-blown Battle Royale mode, though. I was playing every Battle Royale. And Black Ops 4 was a fun Battle Royale, but it had nothing else to it. That was the only part of it I liked, and I let it carry it to an 85. Craziness. Craziness. Yeah, that looks about right. I'd probably still give Venom like a 25, 30, 35 maybe. At most. Movie sucks. I hate that movie. I think it's terrible. I think the second one's maybe about as bad. And I ended up giving that a 60. So that just goes to show you the discrepancy. Oh, this is one of the best bad movies in modern times. Up there with like... Well, it's not up there with Moonfall. But it's in a similar vein as Moonfall. The new Predator movie. It's not new anymore now. But... God, this movie was beautifully awful. That movie was so good. Holy shit, this movie. Pretty sure I'm one of the only people in the world that watch this thing. Some of these movies I have to wonder why I even bothered moist metering them. What was the point? No one was ever going to go see Axel. Looking at the cover, though, is actually kind of cute. It was kind of an adorable movie. Yeah, Slender Man was terrible. 15% is definitely about right. Horrible movie. I was really nice to the Teen Titans Go movie. I don't remember anything about it now. It also teased the OG Teen Titans coming back, which clearly never happened. Here's the lowest rating in Moist Meter history, the 2% to Gene Rain. Still makes sense. God. Giving Ant-Man and the Wasp a 55 is so painful. This is still one of my least favorite MCU movies, even to this day. It's so fucking trash. I'd probably end up giving that like a 30% now. Oh my god, I gave Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom a 65. Jeepers creepers. That one had to be Jackson, though. Because he likes dinosaurs so much. Like, I definitely think that's why some of these are so high for movies or games I really didn't like. Not to use him as a scapegoat, but like, I can't think of any other reason why I would have been so generous on some of these. I was really nice to Incredibles 2. I still like the movie. I still really like Incredibles 2. But it's just not a very good movie, though, which I recognize. And it's nowhere near as good as the first Incredibles. It loses all of the heart. This one was controversial when I posted it because people hated Solo. But that was back when people were still delusional enough to think that Star Wars was going to be good again. And it still hasn't. This is a great movie. Oh, great's exaggeratory. This is a fun movie. It's just your generic sci-fi adventure, unapologetically cheesy and over the top. I stay by that. I watched that again a couple years ago. Still fun. I'll give God of War an 85. That was my game of the year, too. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, these scores sometimes just make no sense. I loved that game. And I still ended up giving it an 85. Like, for some reason, I wanted to play, like, hardball with that one, but not some other ones. A lot of reused bosses. Yep, and that was my only major complaint. I think that was the only complaint I had for that whole game. Oh yeah, and the title. I hated the title. Still hate the title. I hate games that do this. I will always hate that. Call it something else. There is already a God of War. Don't call the new one the fucking God of War soft reboot. It's stupid. I hate it. Still hate it. Star Wars Battlefront, and Star Wars Battlefront 2, and then Star Wars Battlefront, and then Star Wars Battlefront 2, and then Modern Warfare, and then Modern Warfare, and then Modern Warfare 2, and then Modern Warfare 2, and then Modern Warfare 3, and then Modern Warfare 3, and they're all different games. It's stupid. I hate it. It's fucking stupid. Absolutely hate it. Again, here's another movie. Why did I even bother? This is 100% a movie none of you have ever even heard of. The Winchester horror film about the fucking Winchester widow being haunted by all the people that had been killed by Winchester rifles. Why even bother? Honestly. Why? What is this? I don't know what this is. I saw it at some point, clearly. I don't know it. That's the one where he gets orders on a train or something. Cool, I guess. I don't remember anything about it. I guess I kind of liked it, though. I remember the Insidious Last Key. Trash. What is Bright? Now we're getting into movies I just don't remember at all. Oh, fuck. This. Oh, my God. It's been that long? It's been 6 years since this trash? I thought it was much newer. I gave The Last Jedi a 70. It's gotta be Jackson. It's gotta be Jackson. It's gotta be. I hated that movie so much. Jackson would have gave it less. Not at the time. You don't understand. Jackson used to be a Star Wars fucking fanatic, and he brainwashed me on some of that. Nowadays, he's like one of the most jaded people on the planet because all of the things he loves goes to shit, like Star Wars. But back then, he was still a huge enthusiast. I think he saw this movie like 4 times. It had to be that. I hated this even when I saw it. There's no way I would have given it a 70. There's no way. Here's another movie. Why did I even bother moist metering it? I actually remember this one, but not because of the movie itself. There's a scene in here where I think it's the main girl. The main girl's laying on her bed reading a book. I don't remember why, but she was just reading a book and the camera stays on there for a while. And someone throws a fucking snowball out the window and it sounded like a cannon going off. And I actually jumped out of my goddamn seat. That was one of the most effective jump scares I'd ever experienced. Must have hated the movie, though. Gave it a 20%. That's the only thing I remember from it. Oh, I remember this being very controversial. I gave Blade Runner 75. I'd probably give it like an 85 now. I rewatched it a couple years ago. It's a really good movie. And I remember really liking it in the theater, too. I don't remember all the things I took off for it. I remember the one thing that I was disappointed by, and still kind of disappointed by, is that I felt there was so much more they could have done with that world. Well, obviously, a lot more they could have done with that story they were telling, and then they kind of pulled the punch on it. Like, it just felt like they cut itself short. This is the moist meter that WWE kept taking down. They took this thing down 5 separate times, and every time I used to fight them on it until I gave up. I think it's still up now, though. I think they finally stopped. Yeah. Dog shit movie. It's supposed to be about Bruce Lee. It's really not. They make him like the villain in his own movie. It's terrible. Bro's blaming Jackson like he's Clara on his computer or something. I just don't know what other explanation there could be for some of these. I don't know. I really don't. Because like the ones that are really jumping out at me are ones that I know Jackson also played or watched. And like I said, we used to do all the scores together. Call Jackson so he can defend himself. Jackson can't even remember what he had for breakfast on a daily basis. He is not going to remember fucking 5 years ago. It's worthless to even ask. He'll be like, wait, what movie? When did they make a new Star Wars? Like he doesn't remember anything. Oh, Valerian. Oh shit. Oh. Whatever. Dog shit movie anyway. Wish Upon. I went really hard on that movie. Still one of the worst horror movies to hit theaters. I can't believe I gave The Mummy 2017 a 50. That one blows my mind. How? I gave Alien Covenant a 60. Who was this guy? I don't want to meet him. I don't know who this man was, but I don't want to meet him. That's baffling. Both of these are incomprehensible. Both of these should be down here with Transformers 5. 100%. 55% for Bohemian Rhapsody is Criminal. Brother, that was like 4 years forward from here. We went through that like 30 minutes ago. Bohemian Rhapsody was just not a very good movie. There's an infamous scene in there that really kind of sums up the experience. I'll pull it up for you. Oh, this is more than just that scene, but here's a whole video breaking down how terrible the editing was on this movie. It is not a very well-made movie. Like, the performances are great. They did a great job with a lot of it, but it is put together horribly. Who should be blamed for that? Well, I don't know. I don't know the editor's name or anything, but it still makes the movie not good. So, like, the movie itself is to blame. Like, what do you mean? I can't just overlook that. It's the entire movie. What is unforgettable? Well, I guess I'll never know. That one's been completely forgotten. This is another one of those movies. Why did I even bother moist metering it? Nobody ever saw it except for me. Oh, it's this movie about the lady that keeps wanting to fuck. Man, I was really nice to the Ghost in the Shell movie. Gave it a 70. I also don't remember giving Mass Effect Andromeda a 55. I thought I gave it something in the 40s. But man, I even started with the gloves on. Like, I came in there with the sock 'em boppers. I played so nice. The reason I started the moist meters is because I hated this game so much, and I still ended up giving it a 55. I did a couple reviews before this, though. Like, I moist metered Suicide Squad, Don't Breathe. Your principle back then was you tried to be as objective as you could, so a 50 to you was just mediocre. Yeah, but it's just those weren't mediocre. Like, I was still playing really nice. I still try and do that. Like, to me, a 50 is still like a perfectly average movie. But this was not a perfectly average game. Everything about it was below average, especially because it's in the Mass Effect universe. So you've already seen the potential of it, and it was still lacking in every possible department from pretty much every other game out at the time. I played so nice with it. And Ghost in the Shell is absolutely not above average. So I don't know. I don't know why I played so nice. This was an interesting trip down memory lane. I don't even recognize myself down here. Was Ghost in the Shell that bad? I wouldn't even say it was that bad, but it definitely... that would be something I'd probably give like a 50 to. Like that is something I'd probably be comfortable giving like a 50 to. Pain and Gain. Why would you even ask... Why? I saw this when I was still I saw this when I was still a virgin, actually. I think I was 18 when this movie came out, and I saw it at a girl's place who I was like super interested in. But it was me and a buddy, we went over there, and he was trying to like wingman me, and she was not having it. She was not interested. She was more interested in my friend. And I just sat there and I just fucking watched Pain and Gain on her TV in her apartment. I hate that movie because of that. That shit sucked. Fuck that movie. And I tried to get out of it because I knew, like, I figured I was kind of just in the way of them at that point. So I was like, I'm hungry. And she's like, no, it's fine. I got some crunchy peanut butter in my pantry. I was like, oh. Yeah, no, that's alright, I'll eat that, I guess. So then I'm fucking trapped. I sat there and ate fucking crunchy peanut butter watching Pain and Gain on her TV. Made me mad. That movie sucks. That movie gets a 10% on the moist meter. And it's only that high because the peanut butter was good. I mean it when I say I didn't really want to talk about today's topic. It's just some medium rare internet beef that I think is just kind of worthless to go over, but so many people keep bringing it up to me that I feel I should at least talk about it to some extent. So I'll go ahead and cannonball into the septic tank and doggy paddle around for a bit. The main topic involves a banned YouTube creator that I'm sure you've all heard of before. His name is Sneako. A lot of people compared him to like a diet Andrew Tate. He recently got banned, and he still does make content elsewhere. And recently he started targeting me because I made jokes about his friends on the Fresh and Fit podcast, whom I think are beautiful clowns that do some very silly stuff that is entirely entertaining to make fun of. But Sneako didn't see it that way because he's a very sensitive guy, and he started writing their wieners to try and defend a blatantly outrageous story that one of them told about meeting a basketball player at a party, then being invited by that basketball player to a mansion and then fucking a ton of girls at that mansion thanks to the basketball player, which sounds like something a Tumblr account would have made up, and ending with, and everybody clapped. It was such a goofy piece of fan fiction, it felt like he was begging to be humiliated and made fun of, so I started throwing some balls at the clown and dunking them in the tank. I made a video talking and joking about it, and Sneako saw this and he wasn't too happy, so he got offended on his friend's behalf, which of course is a very alpha male thing to do. I know Sneako doesn't like that nomenclature. He never calls himself an alpha male and thinks that it belittles him, but his fan base is and has been red-pilled and thinks of him as like a no-nonsense kind of guy who tells it like it is, a man's man. And yet Sneako cries more than a 12-year-old going through puberty and has very public temper tantrums like a child who didn't get the Spider-Man toy they wanted for Christmas. So he was upset because I was making fun of them. He then makes a big rant about me, calling me a bitch, saying all kinds of things. He doesn't really make any points, he just insults my appearance a lot and makes very bold assumptions about me not going outside and shit like that, which of course has nothing to do with anything I was saying, nor does it debunk any of my points. Not that I was even really making points, I was just making jokes about a silly fucking story, and he's taking it as if I just gave a TED Talk on monogamy, because for some reason he somehow gets lost in like this Winter Soldier episode, like this delusional fantasy, where he starts making a statement on monogamy, which of course had nothing to do with the video I made.
I'm not gonna say names. Someone texted me. He's in a monogamous relationship. This is his girl. So there you go. I mean, I told you, like, I could hear it in your voice. The fact that someone doesn't have to abide by those rules. Someone could go and fuck a lot of bitches. That it's so foreign to a lot of people's ideas, because when you get brainwashed, when you get told that monogamy is the answer.
What the fuck are you even talking about? What does this have to do with anything? What does bringing up a picture of me and my girlfriend have anything to do with anything that has happened? And where is monogamy even coming from? You're fighting an invisible enemy right now. You're fighting ghosts that aren't real. Like, none of this had anything to do with the video itself of me joking about a stupid fucking story that this guy told. Like, it's so weird, and he's been mad ever since, as I understand it. I, of course, don't really watch him, but I keep getting updates on Sneako not being happy, wiggling his finger saying, I don't really like this Charlie guy anymore for this. Now, like I said, because so many people keep bringing this up to me every day, I felt obligated to at least, you know, talk about this a little bit and engage with the drama, even though I don't really want to. What I do want to talk about, though, is the Black Friday Moist Global merch sale, baby. A lot of great merch on moistglobal.com is a lot of money off right now, so go to moistglobal.com to get some fucking beautiful items, and we even have some really fun, goofy ones that are in stock right now, such as this wonderful Happy Coat, which is kind of like a bathrobe. It's fantastic. And we also have some Yu-Gi-Oh! Inspired designs available right now as well, which are just fun items, and once all of these are sold out, they won't be restocked, so if you're at all interested, go to moistglobal.com, the link's in the description. I'm going to keep this on for the rest of the video. The only thing I'm missing now is a cigar, so really get into character here. I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about this. I am pretty familiar with Sneako, probably more so than a lot of his more modern fan base is. I first became aware of his content when he got mad at me a couple years ago because I was criticizing a movie called Cuties. For those that don't know, Cuties was a movie that went to Netflix, and it was basically just softcore child porn. It was a movie that focused on twerking and a coming-of-age film that used real children in real positions of, like, sexualization, where during, like, a twerking contest, they'd have cameras that would go, like, right into their ass and zoom in. It was fucking disgusting stuff. And I made a whole video talking about how fucked up it is that not only does it exist, but Netflix has promoted it and it's on their service. Regardless of what the intention was or what the message aimed to deliver from the director, it completely missed the mark. By using real child actors and doing the things that they did in the film, it became a movie that was only enjoyed by legitimate, real, self-admitted pedophiles. And I made a video talking about how gross that whole situation was, and Sneako made a response to it saying that the outrage around this film is misplaced and it's actually a good movie.
Americans are like, this is deplorable. I saw this commentator, Penguinz0, who I actually like. There's not a lot of good commentators, but he's like, this movie is deplorable. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing. And it's like he didn't even watch the movie. It's just like he only saw the clips that were going to piss him off. Or he just got so triggered by the provocative imagery that he just, deplorable. Come on, man. Like, don't you see the reasons why she's doing what she's doing?
Sneako has said multiple times, even in his most recent rant, that he does like my content, though I'm pretty sure he just says that to cushion the blow and, like, tiptoe around it, like, before insulting me. Just in case there's anyone in his chat that likes my content, he wants to make sure to not make them upset, so he makes sure to preface it by saying, well, I actually do like him, but... and then goes on to get super personal about it. This was my first real exposure to Sneako, and it's also the reason I don't care what his opinion is of me, because it's coming from a man who likes cuties. So why the fuck would it matter if he thinks I'm a bitch or anything like that? It legitimately couldn't mean less coming from a guy who openly defends a softcore child porn production.
Okay, if I ever wanted to get canceled, this is the video. I saw Cuties last night and it was pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. I went in ready to hate like everybody else. I saw the cover and I got clickbaited. So did you got clickbaited. The thing about Cuties is it's not an unrealistic film. Like, yes, it shows children in a sexual way, but this is not unusual now. And the people who are really mad about this aren't Gen Z.
Now, the reason I'm showing this isn't just to debate a multiple-year-old Sneako video that he completely ate shit on and had the worst possible take of with this whole cutie situation. The reason I'm showing this is because I haven't liked him since I saw this side of him. I was aware that he made other content, and apparently some of it was pretty good a couple years back, but once I saw this video, it just showed me a really weird guy who it seemed like really just wanted to be contrarian for the sake of it, and makes terrible points in defense of this film for some reason. Like, even in your own video, you openly admit right there that yes, it sexualizes children. Full stop, that's not okay. That's a problem.
Like, this girl, at one point, she takes a picture of her vagina and posts it on Instagram. Kids naturally just rebel. I like this movie because it's extremely provocative, but it's realistic. A major criticism of this film was that it's child porn, that they were just showing these kids and that it's gonna bring a bunch of pedophiles in. I don't think so. I don't think so. Not more than anything else that's on the internet now, or not more than beauty pageants in America, which still exist and are exactly what you see in the film.
Do you go to beauty pageants to watch the kids, Sneako? I certainly hope not. just because the beauty pageants, which are fucked up, completely agree, just because those exist in the real world doesn't mean that that's justification for this movie. I feel like that should be obvious. You can't use this whataboutism like, oh yeah, Cuties has a lot of sexualization of children, but what about, you know, child beauty pageants? I mean, those are out there in the real world, so what's wrong with Cuties being on Netflix? I won't show you any more from this video, it's dog shit all across the board, but there is one more thing I'd like to highlight. Even when Sneako started to rise to popularity, I didn't pay too much attention because, again, in my mind, he will always be that guy that for some reason fights for this film, which is just fucking weird. So he's always just been kind of a weird person to me that I don't pay too much attention to, but I couldn't help but take notice of one of his more recent viral clips where he openly defends getting cucked.
So I wanted to break this down, like, because this was, imagine seeing the girl you love, like, get fucked. You love her? Yeah, I do. I love it. Yeah, I love her. I was about to say I love this bitch. I'm like, no, let me not say that. I love my wifey, my queen.
And you allowed the love of your life to get fucked by another man.
What happened to the other agreement?
I'm crazy. The first time, as soon as I saw it, like 3 pumps in, I just got up and walked out. I'm just like, I can't do that. Like, feeling traumatic thoughts, like seeing her with another person. It's a lot. But I think it's something everybody should do just to test. You know what?
It is a legitimately super sad thing to sit there and listen to because Sneako is very clearly bothered by that whole situation, but is trying to play it off like a deeper message, like, no, this is actually a good thing, and in fact, I recommend every guy out there try letting their girl get fucked by another man. Then you'll know if it's real, if this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. It is fucking tragic to listen to. Now, I want to be clear, I have absolutely no problem with open relationships. I think everyone should be completely within the right to handle their relationships however they see fit and whatever makes them happiest. Contrary to what Sneako thinks about me, I have legitimately no issue with open relationships at all. But what Sneako's talking about here isn't so much an open relationship, it's cuckoldry. You have watched your girl get fucked in front of you on at least 2 occasions that he talks about here. And you were right next to her, watching her get fucked, and one time you were so upset about it you had to leave the room after the 3rd pump, you said. You're clearly not really alright with this situation. You're for some reason forcing yourself to be okay with it. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and be an armchair psychologist like you try to do against me during your rants, but it really seems like you don't like it. And yet, for some reason, you're also trying to celebrate it and promote it like a good thing. It's just super sad. Like, if you're fucking other girls and she's fucking other guys, that's one thing, but you being in the same bed that she is fucking another man in and watching her, and then even talking about how, like, upset you were about how much she was moaning and the deep eye contact she was making with the man she was fucking in front of you, like, you're not really okay with it, it sounds like. So stop trying to pretend to be, and stop trying to make it seem like this is a good, healthy thing for everyone that everyone needs to try. It's just pretty sad. So this is always in the back of my mind when he starts critiquing my relationship, or really any relationship for that matter. Like, what really gives you the right, especially when you're clearly in a very complicated situation in your own mind with your relationship? So, like I said, I didn't really want to talk about this, but he apparently keeps shitting on me and making a big hoopla about it, and people keep bringing it up to me, so I felt like I should at least address it in some capacity. So this is me talking about it, and that's about it. See ya.